Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tool and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Amish, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, Effie Patriot, On the Level, Thomas van der Zander, Gary Hughes, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name's Burley, Todd Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, JMails24, Unimento, M, Iron26, Endless, Golden McKiernan, Retro Bill, Michael Kahn, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W., Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Yun Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Links to Patreon are below this video. And with that, I'll hand across to whoever is in G+, and indeed Earth Awakening's Discord server today, so you can enjoy their discussion as I set up for today's live show. Oh. What did you say?
During Trump's, because I was watching the whole inauguration yesterday, at one point he said, "We are going to set our flag on Mars."
There'll be no putting flags on lights in the sky.
Here. I saw that on Facebook, and I was like, immediately, I was like, "Oh yeah, through the gas pressure next to the vacuum." It's too early for this.
Yeah, you're not going to be travelling via a second law of thermodynamics violation sky vacuum, where they can look back on Earth and all of its high-pressure gas not filling a vacuum to plant a flag on a light in the sky. It's all nonsense.
Listen to me. Our Army, our Air Force, our Navy, our Marines, and our Space Force will be number one, and America will be great again.
Well, jolly good. Good for you.
I told you about that lunch thing right before they had this lunch, this inaugurational lunch, right? And some lady comes up, and they chose a picture to be in the background. And it was just like a sunset with a horizon. You couldn't even see the sun, just like bright orange. She defined what the horizon was and said the future of America is beyond the horizon. And I'm telling you, man, that was done deliberately.
Maybe. Or it was just anti-sentiment, Neil. Who cares?
Well, if you think about the TFE thing,
it was Trump going. I'm sorry.
if you think about the TFE thing,
I was going to say
what?
How about that?
On third time's a charm.
Go ahead, Adam. Let Adam go. There seems to be a definite delay. I noticed it yesterday when it was just me, you, and I think Chocolate, or no, John. So you do have a major delay. So go ahead, Adam.
Adam does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, my round trip latency is
absolutely
about 3 milliseconds, so I'm all right.
Like I said that right after Neil, so however long the delay between that's the judge.
So what I was saying was, with the TFE happening so soon, and now Trump being inaugurated as president, and now showing pictures of horizons, perhaps we are going to go into those uncharted lands of Antarctica, so there could be new Americas.
Who knows? Might be more land.
Yeah, who knows?
Could be a bigger ball.
No, it couldn't be a bigger ball. Mathematically speaking, the ball that they reify is set in stone, so it can back engineer into the angles they measured off a flat plane. There is only one size ball in their maths. There is no ball in reality. Earth's measured flat. Must be to create the ball in the maths that has a fixed size in the maths only.
I know it.
Yeah, sure. But when people like Dave Weiss say it could be a bigger ball or a really big ball, no, it couldn't.
Are we going to Earth Awakenings today, Nathan?
We're in Earth Awakenings today.
Oh, excellent.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, I might as well say it too.
I figured I'd say hello to them that were here.
Oh, Neil.
Talked over you. I was just saying hello to them if they were here.
So, Nathan, I was thinking about what Brian said yesterday, and I think he was right because when I thought, when I was thinking about it, it sounded like that time when Rob Noxious came in and just chanted that whole rhetoric of his. And Brian was very upset about that he was allowed to do that and unchallenged. So I understand where he's coming from.
Okay.
So what I did was I said, well, Brian, that's why it's important that you're on the panel, because you would have stopped me at the first, second, or maybe even the third one and said, let's unpack this one at a time. It was very important that you're here every day. So I think I got him.
Whatever. We were doing the book till God knows what time. So when that happens, I end up sitting in this position for like 12 hours solid. Or whatever, however long. It's just a long period of time sat doing the book. I'm glad we're getting it done. We're so close.
I know, and it's going to be the book of books pertaining to this subject. I'm telling you. I feel it in my bones. I feel it.
Yeah, I need to get Alder refracted curvature. Send him a message. Hopefully he'll come on the show at some point. A little bit I need his input for.
I'll send him a message now. When we doing it again?
Okay.
10-4.
I want to get through the flights chapter because that's like an additional chapter as opposed to going through the old chapters and rearranging them, changing the order of what's said, changing what's said, which may sound like, well, that's just doing it all. Well, no, because there's a base chapter to work from, right? You know, we've got the left-hand side and the right-hand side, the, if you like, old book versus new book. Well, when it comes to the flights chapter, there's nothing at all been written yet. So, yeah, it's great. All the other chapters are now in green and the spreadsheet are one. I'm sure there's one that we haven't, one that's like nearly done. It needs some minor amount of work doing to it. Can you remember which one that was?
I don't.
I do. It's distance to the sun information. And that was covered by Brian yesterday, wasn't it? So we were waiting for Brian to give us a few citations that I didn't know where to get. Not even citations, it was where the calculation had come from. And I just didn't have the mathematical rhetoric to put it down officially. But Adam got that from Brian yesterday, didn't he?
Oh, yeah. I remember. That's
Right.
when he was saying that they didn't need him, but we do need him.
Yeah, we needed him for a certain citation within the distance to the sun housekeeping chapter. And it was just a little bit of rhetoric about, I can't even remember what calculation Brian was needed to answer the question for, but I'm certain he answered it and Adam got it down. And I confirmed. Have you got that from Brian then? What are we writing down? And Adam's like, yeah, I think I just needed to know X, Y, Z, and now I know it. So I've got enough to go on, which is enough for me to think, okay, you maths boffins, just make sure whatever's written down in that regard's correct, because I don't care. And if it is wrong, I'll just get in the neck and it'll make me look silly. So from that point of view, they've had that conversation, which means, with the exception of the flights chapter, which is an addition to what we're rewriting, if that makes sense, everything's done, isn't it?
Yep.
And, right.
Right there.
So that's it. So there's a chapter to write, but because it's a blank canvas, I mean, I could just let them loose, but it would be like reading something from QE as opposed to something that clearly has his input. Because if you read through the chapters, it's fine. If you're like a member of the team or even on the Discord panel regular, you'd hear all the influences from all the different people who've had input on rewriting the book. You know what I mean? But if that chapter's just written by someone else, you'd just be that person. So I've obviously got to be involved in that process as well. I can't just cast it off to them. But once that's done, it's going through it, checking the spellings and checking that it flows nicely and there's nice pictures and the citations all line up. You know, I just going through it with a fine tooth comb with Flatsy. But other than that, it's all done, isn't it? It's all actually written.
Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So when I said I will have it done by Wednesday, they were like, no, nowhere near. Adam and QE, this is. Well, why not? I don't see why not. Flatsy rattle through it at a pace if we're with her. Not that bad. We've self-corrected most of it as we've gone along anyway. Like the spellings and the grammar and the punctuation, we've done most of it anyway, because it annoys us as we're reading it back. So I would imagine that it's a reasonably easy job to get it in line, ready to be published. Then it's going to go through the publisher anyway. So how long could it possibly take from here, Neil?
That's what I'm thinking, because I think they're talking about when they reread it back, they might want to change things. But then you're changing what you put down as a team.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be long.
Yeah, so they're changing the flow of what has now been edited. So, well, the additions have been made, the edits have been made, the punctuation's been done as we've gone along, checking that it is actually correct after the fact, which Flatsy's exceptionally good at. I would imagine just reading it through, and that might take, where your average Joe might take 2 or 3 hours to read through the whole book, take us a couple of days making a couple of changes, but that's it, isn't it? What else is there?
That's what I'm thinking.
I'm hoping it comes out soon. Not least of all, I want the money for it. You know, the whole point of starting it a year ago was to start a revenue stream for me.
Yeah, it'll come. But I'm thinking, even if they reread it through, they may catch something that they don't like. But like you say, that's not going to take long.
Well, as do I. But as we've been going through it, like when you're referencing a fundamentalist zealot's position on their model, and you're saying how it could or would be, and like, no, you need to phrase it differently because contextually something that isn't possible. And whatever that phraseology needs to be corrected to, I'll be like there to correct it in the moment while we're doing those additions to the text. And I don't know, I only interjected 2 or 3 times yesterday, but every single time I did, I thought, glad I'm here. It'll be a good book. Can't wait to get it out.
It's not going to be a good book. It's going to be a great book.
Thank you, Trump.
Ah, you caught that. It's in my head because our wife was into it yesterday. She watched all 3 balls that he went to. She does that with the UK too. When they have an event, she was comparing the similarities. I'm like, well, what do you expect? We are Britain.
Yeah, you can tell yourself that, mate.
We were the offspring of Britain, and nothing's changed.
Actually, we blame the Irish for you, mostly.
That's funny.
I mean, just because we're in a different server doesn't mean we don't have to do the do. So I think we should actually cover a video today.
Sounds good.
Cover.
Do we have one?
Yeah, I got several things that were shared with me yesterday, and everyone was like, "Why didn't you cover that?" I'm like, well, there's only so much we can do, and on yesterday's show cover conspiracy cats and else. Peterson. It's just we were chatting rather than covering him, than we did to come to covering him. He was doing some Nazi thing. We've got Bro Sanchez versus Jaron. FTFE versus Bro Sanchez. I think I'll go with the Jaron one.
Clench the moment with Who Gives a Crap recycled blue roll.
All right, so this is a cabin, and look at.
That's gonna be a problem.
And this.
For some reason, why is it doing that? How irritating. My PC sound's coming through on Discord. Why would that happen?
Somebody have their mic open?
No, that's me queuing up a video, but what I've immediately found is that there's a problem, which is to say the sound is coming into me on the same line as Discord, which means it won't be making it out to Discord. Well, if we're in someone else's server, the last thing I need to do is not have them be able to hear it. I just don't know how to solve the problem. Not to worry. Anyway, there's a few people in Earth Awakenings now, if you did want to say hello. You were saying hello earlier, and I was replying because there was no one there.
Hello, Earth Awakenings. Awaken.
Good morning, guys. Yeah, it's good morning.
So, yeah, maybe we won't be sharing a video with Earth Awakenings because I can't figure out why the sound isn't patching through. Oh well.
I thought when we go to other servers, we just like pretty much grab people from their audience if they have questions, if there are ballers there. I never thought we did videos.
Yeah, I know, but it's not like we have a massive amount of chit chat going on, Neil. So I'm totally
Give
confused.
them time. Give them time. They're wiping their eyes. Everybody's just waking up. I know it's after 2 for you there, but probably over here people are still waking up.
That's why. Found the setting. Damn. Will this balls everything up if I swap this setting now? Probably. Check. Now say, can someone in the Earth Awakening service say hello to me?
Hello.
Neil, can you say hello?
How's everything going over there in Earth
Very well.
Awakenings?
Yeah, it's good. It's going good. It's getting off to a slow morning. I think you're right, Neil. People are just getting the sleep out of their eyes this morning.
Just one last question. Can you hear this in Discord?
Jaron, man. And we here to talk about this final experiment.
Yeah,
I know a lot
I can
of
hear
people
it.
got
Yeah, you bet your ass. Oh, I am basically ace.
I knew you were going to love yourself for that.
I love when I figure things out on the fly. We're still recording. Everything's functioning, and I managed to fix the problem. Yes. You will not beat me, new sound desk. I'm determined to like you.
Darn right, that's an inanimate object. You have the authority.
Yeah, I'm in charge of you, new piece of garbage equipment that will probably cause me hell. No, it's all working beautifully. Everything's working nicely. Got a new piece of equipment, in case you couldn't tell. And it's only the second day with it. So it causing a tiny little issue. This is literally the first issue it's caused me. Is fine. That's okay. I can forgive it. Because it sounds very nice. And it isn't distorting like the old one. I listen back and I'm like, I didn't notice any distortion whatsoever. I'm elated.
So you did that. It's called doing it on the fly. And when plumbers are working and they don't turn the gas off or something to that effect, they call it working on the fly. And I said, well, what does that mean? They said, well, we're not going to shut the gas off. And there's a chance that we can blow up the whole place.
Yeah, it's the same when people work with electricity. And I remember the first time I saw someone doing it, and you're like, whoa, won't that cause damage? You're like, well, how are you going to figure out what's wrong with it if you haven't got electricity running through it? You're like, yeah, I suppose you're right. Just don't touch that big thing with lots of wire wrapped around it and you won't die. Hopefully. As long as you don't touch a rail attached to it. Which one's them? Well, you need to look in the schematic and know which one not to touch. Okay. Got TikTok back, Neil? I'm sure you're delighted. You were without it for 14 hours.
My wife is.
Oh, she pleased?
Yeah, she was devastated. She didn't know what to do with herself.
She's a TikTok user. Just tell her to watch shorts.
That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. I said, just watch the shorts.
Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. YouTube had the foresight to say, oh, right, well, if they can do it, we can do it better. Like, you want crappy videos in a horror a vertical format, do you? You want that, general public? Okay, fine, have it. I mean, I almost vomited when I first saw that. I'm like, you what? You intentionally want it in the wrong aspect? And then you go, well, it's for phones, isn't it? Phones are in that aspect, so it's not the wrong aspect when you think about it in that way. Then you breathe a little bit easier and go, no, I can accept that, I suppose. But producing material for it goes against every fibre of my being. It's like, what? 16 by 9 vertically? What? No. Give it away from me, it's evil.
You must turn it sideways.
Well, have you got one eye above the other? You know what I mean?
When I take a picture, I turn my phone. My wife does not.
Yeah, so you're getting lower resolution as far as the camera sensor is concerned, because it's a oblong sensor and they've arranged it so they get a higher resolution when you've got it in a certain orientation. Hold it vertically, you get less pixels. Because when they present it on a horizontal picture or TV screen or photograph, you've got to strip down the middle of that overall available area. So turning it horizontally means you utilize all of the area. If after the fact you want to crop that, you can. In other words, from a capture point of view, you want to capture as much as possible. And then afterwards, if you want to crop it and make it long and thin, fine. That's how I do it anyway. I mean, I was trained in media, and that seems like the right thing to do to me. Capture as much as possible and then cut it down afterwards. Because if you capture it cut down, you can't then get more if you haven't got enough. So that to me seems ludicrous. It's akin to saying, oh, right, sod it. What we'll do is we'll take a boombox into the studio and we'll record it on the mic on the boombox. Because that's what you'll be playing it back on, so who cares? We'll just use that shitty mic. Forget about all these really high-quality desks and preamps and and lines going in and out of isolated rooms. Forget all that. Just take a boombox into the shed and just press record, because it's only going to get played back on the boombox.
Now that's a good comparison. I like that.
Yeah, you try
Nobody
and-
would do that.
So I don't know why it's not particularly relevant, but in terms of seasonal timing, at least, we've just had Christmas, and last Christmas was shot like a film with proper tape going through a camera, right? Reels and reels of the stuff, very expensive tape going through a camera, capturing essentially hundreds of thousands of photographs on film. Now, when they went back to this and remastered it recently, they went, we could master this at whatever resolution they come up with. No matter what, name your resolution. What are we now, 8K? 16K? No problem. Did you go back to the original master and they've got photographs, essentially. I mean, it's not, I'm grossly oversimplifying it. But the point is that the resolution of the optical imagery captured in that film at that moment is, for all intents and purposes, so long as it's in focus, perfect. So, you know, how many dots do you want to make that up with is a question that comes after the fact when you make it less in terms of the quality, inferior. Now, that to me is the same as recording, which, don't get me wrong, I didn't do a huge amount. I did a little bit in TV studios at college, but most of my time was spent with sound. But the principle's the same. You try and capture it in as high a resolution as possible. And then from there, you record down to a lower quality format to play it back on. And the same would be in bit depth. You know, if you're recording it, you'd say start at 24 so that you can master it down to 16 and put it on a CD, or master it down to tape. Whatever, you know, you're going down in quality each time, but so long as the thing you start with is the highest quality, it will be as good a quality on whatever you reproduce it on. It's like taking a photograph of a photograph. Anyway, TikTok videos. Yeah. But I will, because I capture things in the correct way. I can cut them down to vertical format if need be. It's not that big of a deal.
I took TV production in high school. It was my favorite class.
Yeah, I was a geek too.
We had to come up with a commercial, right? A product and a commercial to sell the product as one of the assignments. And we came up with a product called Screaming Cigarettes, and they would help you stop smoking. And we done it just so we could smoke in the classroom.
Love it.
I missed my calling, Nathan. I should have been an actor.
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I thought the same until I went to performing arts school, and within, I don't know, a year, it had driven me to distraction. You know, lovies, actors, thespians drove me nuts. So I got to a point where I couldn't tolerate it anymore, and I would change courses. I moved from performing arts to technical theatre, so from acting to lighting and sound and things like that. So I had a really mixed bag of modules, and you had to achieve a certain amount. Your diploma. And like I say, I filled it with things that weren't necessarily performing arts related. That was because of the people there. Like I say, lovies and thespians are just too much, too intense. And I didn't know that. You know, you don't when you're picking out your course and thinking, yeah, I'll be an actor. How hard can it be? It's like, well, it's like any job. It's the people that make the job, isn't it? And if the people are bonkers, you can have a tough time if you don't like being around nutters.
It's the same thing with fashion, too. It was my brother, one of my younger brothers, was into it. And a guy that was involved, and for many, many years, he pulled me off to the side. He said, do you know the type of people that are in this industry that your brother wants to get into? I said, I think I know what you're getting at. How are you?
Very well.
Very good day.
Hi, Nathan.
Hello, good to be in a different server. Been intending to do this since the start of 2025. It's the first time I've actually done it, beyond asking permission to do so last time we came. Yeah, good to be here. How are you all? In Discord, that is.
Doing good, doing good.
When Geo gets here, if he does get here, is he here already? Tell him he's getting a treatment today from Quantum Eraser, so he may not be aware of that. In fact, he'll definitely not be aware of that because I'm aware of it only as of yesterday evening after finishing editing my book with help from Adam and Quantum Eraser himself. Now, he's pointed out that obviously this is also serving as a plug for a show, so Be Here or Be Sphere on the Quantum Eraser channel tonight, 7 p.m, where the owner of this server is going to be put on the spot potentially because he's up against Ruhif, who's our opponent in earnest. Nevertheless, as anybody who's familiar with Flat Earth debate will be aware, it's typically fair game no matter who you are, so I might as well prompt him to that fact because he might need to be girding his loins if he's going to be opposing Ruhif. There's a good chance that he's going to come under the same degree of scrutiny from Quantum Eraser. On the other hand, most people are quite open to that, you know. If they're not doing something the way Quantum Eraser likes doing it, everybody loves being criticised by him, don't they? Am I wrong?
Who is not criticized by Quantum Eraser? And that's a good thing.
Well, at least with me, he tries to do it subtly. With you, he's more blatant. Anyway, so yeah, check it out. If you're a fan of this server and indeed Quantum Eraser, you'll definitely be well served tuning into Quantum Eraser's channel this evening, which is at 7 p.m. UK time. And yeah, you'll see the host, or owner, I should say, of this server where we are today, Earth Awakenings, Geo. He might not come in that much under the microscope. When I actually quizzed QE about this, he was like, he explained that he hadn't watched it, as in he captured what he wanted to capture because Ruhif was involved. But coincidentally, Geo's also involved. So, I mean, that does ultimately mean that there's a good chance if Geo's doing things he shouldn't, he's going to get a pasting. I don't know Geo well enough to know whether or not that would be the case, though.
I'll give you an example. If Geo says, well, your model does not work. Uh-oh, we got a problem with model.
Well, that's a good example because it's something I would get it in the neck and still do frequently get it in the neck for. So there you go. That's almost unilaterally true because so many people abuse this term model, don't they, Neil?
Absolutely, and it's in us. So there are times when you slip.
Right, not in most language. That's how we've come to be familiar with the terminology of being on a reified ball flying through a sky vacuum.
Atmosphere is another one.
Hey, Chocolate.
Morning, guys. How's everybody doing?
Very well. So last year we came to the conclusion that we needed to spread the good word of Earth being measured flat, and we successfully did so, albeit to the point where some flat earthers just use it as a punchline to rebut TFE, not knowing what that actually means. In any event, TFE itself has led us to the conclusion that we need to go back to basics and do the tour, hence us being in different servers like Earth Awakenings, to go through the basics of science and the scientific method, so people are acutely aware of what science is, and therefore, more importantly, what it is not. So hence, when I do toddle along, we'll ask a question or two in terms of housekeeping to keep it well and truly alive, so people don't misrepresent what we've talked about for the last 8 years, maybe. So any scientific evidence of gravity come your way, guys, in Earth Awakenings? Probably the right answer. What about any single viable hypothesis in the entire history of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics? When it came to TFE, they didn't have a viable hypothesis. I personally asked Will Duffy. That is to say, he left a comment on one of my videos. I responded by asking him, what's your hypothesis for the experiment claimed in the E in TFE. Experiment, right? Well, no, Duffy's a fraud, and when called on it, he said you can call it an expedition if you like, affirming his own fraud, because he's hijacking the terminology of science, in this case experiment, which is hypothesis actualization. That's what an experiment is. Step 2, formulate hypothesis. Independent and dependent variables. It's back to 2017 and QE writing out stuff in pink lettering to fundamentalist zealots on the ball side of the discussion. You want to say that they've got, typically, scientific evidence of this, that, and the other? Well, that's started to eke in again since the fraud Duffy's got away with hijacking his terminology, calling it experiment, claiming he's had a successful prediction when he observes a phenomena. That'd be step 1 of the method of science being adhered to if you want to consider anything that's being done down there scientific. It isn't. Nevertheless, step 1, observe phenomena. That's something happening in nature. Step 2, presume a cause of it. I think this will cause that phenomena to happen. That's called an independent variable. And that's basically it. That's your hypothesis done. You have the constituent parts thereof. Independent variable and dependent variable. Presumed cause and effect. The thing you observed in nature that you want to know the cause of. So that's what you have if you are doing an experiment, an independent and dependent variable. And then an experiment is just you varying your independent variable to see if it causes the dependent variable. If it does, that's a successful experiment. If it doesn't, that's also a successful experiment because you confirm the null hypothesis. Zero difference result. If A, not B. Why it's an empirical method. It's why it's been hijacked. Once you understand how it works, you understand how it proves things. Just using a few words from the method makes it sound like looking at the sun proves things. It doesn't. But that's why they use the words like experiment.
Can you have more than one independent variable?
Can you have more than one Lone Ranger? Hello,
I guess the closest they would have to a experiment or a hypothesis would be Earth curve causes the 24-hour sun.
Not really. Their assumption of Earth curve comes in an antipodal assumption at the start of their declarations. If I travel to the bottom of a ball, like south being down in their presupposition, then I will observe a 24-hour sun. And then if I affirm that, you can say, I observed the 24-hour sun, therefore my journey to Antarctica was antipodal on a ball, I assumed. So it's not necessarily them formulating it into a hypothesis where if a curve, then a 24-hour sun, it's actually, I assume a curve, therefore if I see a 24-hour sun, it confirms my assumption in curve, affirming the consequent. Anyway, it ain't science. So that's kind of why we're here. And, you know, depends how much resistance we find against that when we come to you or any other server for that matter. That will dictate how long we keep returning for. So hopefully it'll be understood and we'll all move forward in the same vein, righteous in our quest for people to understand the nature of the flat earth we all live on and how they've been deceived into thinking otherwise with the words of science, which 99% of the time, people who are using the words of science haven't actually got science. That'd be an adherence to the scientific method. That's why we're here.
Maybe we can help them out. What would cause the 24-hour sun?
What's the sun?
Right.
I mean, we'd need that before we know what caused it to do things. What is it? To answer that, which was not rhetorical, we don't know what the sun is. Now, you can suppose through spectroscopy that you can discern what is the sun when you have various different stuff between us and it, regardless of what rhetoric you believe in. But in their rhetoric, they've got a 93 million mile distance that's derived from flat Earth elevation angles, stars, to create a spherical model to put in orbit around a sun, also with planes to describe that motion. Orbital motion being a necessitation of a flat plane being measured in the first instance to create that reifiable model. It isn't, because you'd have to bend the ground that you measured flat to create that mathematics. Well, that is what they utilize to then be scaled by Kepler and Huygens. Well, that scaling gives them vast distances that rely on Earth being measured flat, making the nonsensical assertion that the ground measured flat is actually bent when projected to points above your head, between you and a projected sphere that you've made, called the celestial sphere, with an infinite distance, that when put in motion around the sun gives you the ability to scale it with Venus. No. All nonsense, all violating the base principle that this all starts with, which is Earth measured as a plane. Create the idea of a ball in space, violating natural law. Nevertheless, their distance to the sun, is that's what we're going to be talking about, and its properties when they use spectroscopy, is absolutely beyond our capabilities of understanding, all of ours, not just mine. It's not a ha-ha, you're a flat earther, you don't know what the sun is. No, I know what you think it is and how you came to that conclusion. I just exemplified that. But I don't actually know, and I'm more than content to admit that before I start asserting that I can decide how and why it's done things. I wouldn't be
What
so
is
bold.
spectroscopy?
Study a light. In a controlled sense, you'd be studying it in a box, isolated from other things. In terms of stellar spectroscopy, that is not the case. Just sticking a telescope up and looking at some lights and then deciding what they are based on their properties without being able to control what's between you and that light. It's a complete sham. Spectroscopy, real. Stellar spectroscopy, bullshit. Please share the show. 77 people watching. We've only just started this stream. Hopefully one of the moderators will stick a link to the server that we're actually in today, which is Earth Awakenings. So if you're not already a participant of Earth Awakenings, you can join their server. I don't actually know the process that you have to go through to be affirmed in their group, but I'm sure it's pretty simple and straightforward, like with most Discord servers, if you are familiar with Discord. So hopefully you'll click on the link. That'll be going by hopefully in the next 2 seconds or so. Divergent droids all over it, I would hope. And yeah, we'll get a link to Earth Awakening so you can join this server, which is where we are residing today. Good to be here. Please share the show as well. Smash the share button. 82 people watching. Thank you, whoever just hit the share button. Yeah, I'm kind of done. That's why I set up a video to do, by the way, because once I've come in, getting back to basics doesn't take very long. Science is the thing. It proves things that are happening in nature. If you vary and manipulate that which you assume will cause it, and it does, then that is the thing that caused it. It's empirical, and people use the terms to hijack stuff that isn't empirical. They've just made up just those stories about. So they use sciencey words to make it seem like they're fallacious reasoning, in this case travelling to the bottom of a ball by assumption, in TFE, have some sort of semblance of scientific validity when it doesn't. But if you know what science is, you'll know what it isn't. So that's kind of all we've got to do in terms of passing that message back down the line, because it's already come up once. We're going back to basics after all. So if this isn't unfamiliar, you'll know why it's unfamiliar. It's because it's not. It should be familiar by now. It's just the opponents who have used this term, experiment, now think it's cool to start using that terminology again. No, we have to stamp that fire out quickly. So hopefully ancillary servers like Earth Awakenings, Politics, 24/7, and indeed the one I frequent most of all, which is not mine, but run almost exclusively for Flat Earth Debate, the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, align and start stamping out this garbage in case it creeps in from the ball side, who, let's face it, are still in the majority.
Especially from seeing Cornball, who told us that science doesn't prove things, after throwing in our face that science proves every aspect of this nonsensical ball, right? And after asked to provide their science, all of a sudden, like, oh, no, science doesn't prove things. Now, all of a sudden, there's an experiment that's going to prove something. Observation of the sun. Crap. Sorry.
No, don't apologise. It just makes Jaron Campanella seem like a shill. And let me explain. I'm just throwing that term out there to be the word, salacious. I mean, in a sincere way that would make sense contextually, when you understand that about 6 months ago, maybe longer, the original attempt was probably 18 months ago, but however long is irrelevant. A period of time ago, Jaron and indeed lots of other stooges who seemed to surround him were approached personally by myself, and in the case of Witsit, by others, Quantum Eraser in his case, to explain in no uncertain terms what I've just summarised for you guys in Earth Awakenings. Science and the scientific method, how it proves things, and therefore what isn't science. When are they hijacking these terms? And for that privilege, that would be me teaching Jaron what the scientific method is, I was actually called a scammer, and the justification for being called a scammer by Jaron was to say that Jaron would assert otherwise. Science doesn't prove things, isn't empirical, isn't a method that's advanced humanity. How dare I'm a scammer, said Jaron in response. 18 months or however long, don't hold me to that. Later, Jaron's going to Antarctica to perform an experiment that apparently has rocked his worldview to the point where he's no longer a flat earther, end quote him. Oh, how interesting. So, under the guise of pseudoscience, in reality, named an experiment, falsely so, by a fraud called Duffy, Jaron's aligned with this in the name of science. Very shilly.
Why is he a fraud, though?
Because he's claiming science, where he's actually, when called upon to correct that crap, said, you can call it, this is Duffy, an expedition if you like, because he was asked for his independent and dependent variable, aka hypothesis, by me, and he doesn't have one. It isn't science, it isn't an experiment, therefore it's fraud.
But why is it a fraud if someone just say, hey, you want to go on a trip? Hey, I'll pay for you to go somewhere.
Just told you like 25 seconds ago.
How is that being fraudulent?
I just told you 25 seconds ago. Did you not listen to what I just said 25 seconds ago? Shall I repeat it?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but why is that? Why do you think that's fraudulent?
I just told you 25 seconds ago why it would be fraudulent. And it's like
it was actually a place where you said there was no 24-hour sun, didn't you?
You keep talking then. Fine. You don't want me to answer.
Yeah, go ahead.
I tried 3 times.
I mean, we all heard what you said. You said there was no 24-hour sun, and there wasn't.
I didn't say that.
But there was.
I didn't say that.
Now what do you say?
I did not say that.
You did say that. You did say that.
I said, in answer to the... What's going on? Why am I getting yammered through by somebody who seems very unreasonable? What's going on?
Well, this isn't your channel, so there's no mute button here.
Didn't bring up a mute button. I asked why you're being unreasonable. I'm trying to have a reasonable discussion with you, and immediately into yammering through the middle of my... Like you're doing now. This is being unreasonable. I'm asking why you're doing that. As you're doing it, I still haven't taken breath in this sentence. You've interrupted twice so far. I haven't taken breath. So you want to talk about my mute button? I still haven't taken breath. You're being a dick.
You claim there was no 24-hour sun, Nathan, didn't you?
Quote me.
It's been quoted. It's been in many videos.
So quote me.
We all heard it.
So stuttery, you can't quote me, can you?
You said there is no 24-hour sun, and there isn't.
That's not a quote. I didn't say that. I already said once when he said it the first time. When Earth is life, now he's interrupting me, being unreasonable while I respond to him. I'm responding, he's yammering through me. So what is it? I haven't got a mute button here, so your tolerance of being able to yammer through the middle, still in the middle of the same sentence, somebody who's dick and unreasonable is going to claim that it's unfair because he's going to use his mute button on me. I'm in the middle of talking. He's interrupting me 2 or 3 times in the middle of one statement. I didn't say those words. They aren't a quote. You haven't quoted me. You're just making stuff up about me. I don't like that.
I pull up the video?
What I did say, I'm still talking. I did say he's a fraud when you asked me. Third interruption, same statement. What I did actually say to you when asked, why is he a fraud? So I said he's a fraud because he's claimed science, an experiment, when he hasn't got it. He was challenged and said you can call it an expedition. That was his response. Affirming, confirming his fraud. That's what I answered you with. Then you made up a quote I hadn't said.
So are you claiming you never said ever in your entire life that there was no 24-hour sun in Antarctica? Are you claiming that now, Nathan?
Do you have a quote of me saying it? If you do, we'll deal with it. If you don't, do you just need to burn this straw man for something that you can't quote me on?
So when I pull up the quote, what are you going to say?
I'll deal with it when you quote me. Quote me then.
Okay.
I don't hear you quoting me. What's going on? Why are we hearing silence?
You saying it. I mean, like, what the fuck?
Video.
Why am I
you
being
sitting on
sworn
your
at?
couch.
I seemed reasonable. Hold on.
Words.
Sorry, Earth is life. Somebody else is now swearing at me, it would seem. I don't know what's going on. I seemed reasonable.
Yeah, you didn't stop talking.
No, you said
There's
you would quote me.
There's a video of you sitting on your... Oh, my God. There's a video of you sitting on your couch.
Is this a quote?
Saying those exact same words.
So is this the quote? Is this a quote?
Are you going to claim that you didn't say them?
Is this a quote?
Yes, it is a quote.
No, it's not. It's you describing me sat on a sofa. You're not quoting me.
You said there is no 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and there isn't.
Has that got quote marks around it? Is that the quote that I've already said twice? I didn't say that. Is that got quote marks? If so,
I'm literally doing air quote marks.
Oh my God! Do I have to tolerate this guy yammering through me, talking about a quote he's not quoting?
I just quoted it.
That was not a quote.
Those are your words, Nathan.
Was that a quote?
Away from it?
Pull up a video clip of it and then show us. You or Roger that can pull up a video clip and then show us, and then we'll examine it.
Right, what does this guy not know how a quote works? I don't get it. Why are we spending 10 minutes? Why can't he say, quote, words, end quote, you? That's how a quote works. And if it's wrong, that's to say he says in those quote, unquote, things I haven't said, that's unreasonable. Now, he's done that 4 times, and when I lose my temper about it, I'm like, that isn't a quote. It's like, yeah, it is. You were sat on a couch saying it. So what were the exact words I used? Verbatim, inside quotation marks that you use. You haven't done that yet. You're like, well, what are you going to say about them? What, the words you haven't quoted yet? While you go and look them up and get them, presumably while I'm saying this.
You're the one demanding a quote. He's already told you several times, word for word, what you said. How difficult is that to follow?
So do you want to put it back in quotes for me so we can understand what quote, unquote, I said?
There is no 24-hour sun, and there isn't. He's said it repeatedly.
Right, that was after an interview with a man who'd just told me that there wasn't one, correct?
Does it matter? You're the one saying you needed a quote. You have it. Now deal with it.
Sorry, was that rhetorical when you asked me if it mattered? What, contextually, after interviewing a man who had been to Antarctica and spent 18 months, he specifically told me there wasn't, and I'm affirming that. You're saying that's unreasonable for me to confirm as a host what a guest had told me. That's unreasonable, is it? Hello, I don't seem to be getting a response. Lots of people talking through me while they misquote me. Now we've got the actual quote. That's based on context of a man telling me there isn't one, having spent 18 months there. Is that unreasonable? Nobody's answering me. Okay, then. So, yeah, Robert Shortman spent 18 months there and said there wasn't a 24-hour sun. Now, I don't suggest that Robert Shortman lied to me. Now, we could say, assuming retroactive continuity, that he is lying because there is one now. But for all I know, he was correct in his assertions that he didn't see one, and everybody who went down there is also correct when they say they do. I personally haven't been down there. I wouldn't know what the state of play is down in Antarctica. Has anybody here been down there to affirm what happens?
No, but yeah, I think certain parts of Antarctica are outside the Antarctic Circle, so it could be both, for sure.
Could be. I'm willing to accept it's complete nonsense. I'm also willing to accept that it absolutely, without question, definitely occurred. Makes no difference to me either way.
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact of the lack of curvature, the lack of motion, so...
Well, I don't get why I was challenged on this.
Told you we're not like you.
Earth is life. What was that all about? Was there a purpose to that?
So there you go. There's your 2 quotes. They're in the chat. You can check them out. So would you like to address what you said?
I just did. Were you not listening?
No, watch the video. That way you can hear what you said.
I know what I said. I'm me. I'm the one who said the words that come out my own friggin' mouth.
So now that there is a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, now what?
I just explained 35... Is this the second time I've done this with this guy, where I've said something and then 25 seconds later he's asking me to repeat it? Okay, let's try and repeat what I've just literally said, hopefully without Earth is Life yammering through the middle of it, asking me if I've got a mute button or something, as he chants through the middle of my explanation. Let's try. Yeah, a guy who I'm talking to about Antarctica and his trip down there where he spent 18 months and did not see 24 hours of sun, according to his first-hand testimony, would mean that unless we assume we must have retroactive continuity, therefore making him a liar, I can only assume that the circumstances have changed based on the information currently being disseminated by people who have been proven to be liars by myself personally. People like Whitsitt, a proven liar, and Duffy, who's being criminally investigated for defrauding people in terms of monetary funds that solicitors have had to set up hotlines for.
Right, that's
in terms of
irrelevant.
circumstances that I'm
irrelevant.
definitely going to be interrupted when I describe his prior dealings in terms of what people could presumably rightly call fraud, I'm going to get interrupted. I've already justified this. I'm assuming it's Earth is Life that's talking straight through the middle of me while I'm explaining something for the second time that he didn't listen to the first time, and I'm having to repeat while Earth is Life yammers through me. Maybe Earth is Life is mute button. Earth is Life's got a good mute button and he's using it as he sees fit. Earth is Life's mute button works really well. When Earth is Life decides that he's going to mute me, you can be damn sure Earth is Life gets his way. Until a moderator server mutes him. Because why did I have to put up with that? Why? Asshole. No.
On both sides, though, I did take care of it. He was interrupting you, but please refrain from calling people liars. You know, that requires a lot of motive and whatnot, and we try not to, do that here, please.
Who did I call a liar?
I believe you said a couple people were liars, like Whitsitt and stuff, and he's a live stream host here.
Yes,
please,
I've proven
please
that.
don't do that.
Yes, I've proven that personally with Whitsitt. So when calling out Whitsitt for his lie and giving him the example in the moment that he lied with, his response to me was say, "You are putting me in a position where I must be contradictory." That's his response.
We're
then
not
he laughed,
in a court of law. We're
and
not
then
going to
called
suss
me a
out all this right now. We're just going to move
what's going on? I was just responding. My justification for calling Whitsitt a liar is that he is one, and I've proven that beyond all doubt.
Yeah, to yourself. We're not in a court of law.
No,
it's all good. We could just move on.
I published it. Do you want to hear it? I've got it cut down to about 30 seconds with him double speaking and lying in
Obviously,
the same breath.
I don't want to hear it.
You don't want to hear Whitsitt being proven to be a liar? Oh, I see. You Whitsitt simps.
Then don't call some people to call people liar if you don't want to hear.
Yeah, Whitsitt is a liar. I've proven that. I proved it to his face. It wasn't like I didn't do it in his presence. He lied to me.
No, I'm not saying to you, Nathan. I'm saying
good.
to
I'm
him.
good, Sasha. I'm good.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, he lied to my face to justify the lie I was pointing out with evidence. And when that was pointed out to him, he said, "Oh, you're putting me in a position where I have to contradict myself to my audience." AKA lie to them. He blamed his lies and justification for lies with more lies on me, and then called me a grifter when I proved beyond all doubt he's a liar with his own words when he was lying, because he's a liar. He lies. He lied to me, lied to an audience. It was published. You don't have to like that. If you say, "Oh, well, I'm not allowed to call him a liar," no, I will. He is. You can remove me because you want to defend liars, if you like. You can say you're not allowed to be here and call a liar, even though you've proven beyond all doubt he's a liar and it's published and you can demonstrate it. You're not going to call him a liar here. Well, I'm not welcome because I call a spade and a liar a liar.
To do.
Hold on, it's all good, dude. I've heard your panel before say weak people talk about other people, and I thought we were discussing ideas on a flat earth and getting back to the basics, so I was just trying to control the conversation so that dude wasn't interrupting you, and that way we could get back to what you were trying to do about the basics.
Yeah, then you told me I couldn't call people liars. Then you gave me an order, which I disavowed. You said you can't call people liars. I went, I will. Now, if you don't like me being here because I called someone who's a liar that I've proven a liar, who lied to my face and my audience and his audience, and that was proven a liar, then you can get rid of me. But you'll be called a bigot and a zealot, and people will be presumably intolerant to you, as that is unreasonable behaviour on your part when you said I'm not allowed to call people liars. I will when I prove that fact. Now, you say we're not a court of law here. I don't care what you are. Whitsitt's a liar, and I've proven that. You don't have to like it. He's lying and grifting this community of flat earthers with his nonsense. doublespeak about ether, all behind a paywall, paying for consultations to get this crap that he grifts people with and lies about. Distance of light and its travel and its motion, specifically to do with his grift with ether. All lies that was all called out. It's all been documented. He's had it put to him personally. And that's how it is. We've got grifters in the community that are literally defiling the flat earth subject for money. That's Witsit. If you want to defend him, well, okay. Why? He's a grifter.
Why are we talking about Witsit again?
I don't know. I was told off
that's
for
what
calling
Nathan
people
has come
liars.
here to do. He didn't come here to talk about anything else.
I don't even know how we got on that topic.
No,
I was trying to get it back to what we were talking about, and it's really weird at this point. Yeah.
Well, you told me off. You said I couldn't. You brought it up.
Like a 5-year-old, dude.
You brought it up. You said I couldn't call people liars.
This
I
is
don't
what
remember bringing Witsit up.
elementary children do. You know that, right?
Man, what are you talking about? You put it up that.
Yeah,
I didn't put it up, dude. I said, can we get back to the normal conversation?
You said how you can call people liar. If somebody is lying, how you call that guy?
I didn't Witsit get into the conversation.
I don't remember bringing Witsit up.
No, I'm saying if somebody's lying, how you call that guy?
Yes.
Why are you still on this? What does this prove of your position? How do you even get? How about this? We'll get back to the. How about we get back to? Listen. How about we get back to the empirical method? Can you describe to us if the empirical method is the only way to obtain knowledge? Listen, bro, chill out.
Who said that?
Moderate this panel and not.
Okay, if the empirical method is the only way to obtain knowledge, and knowledge comes strictly through observation, where do I observe that?
Who said that? Is that your claim? Strictly
That's what I
comes
said. Who
through
said that?
observation.
I'm just trying to get back to a topic, dude.
Okay, but it was after you told me I couldn't say people were liars, and then you told me I'd said Witsit was a liar. I don't remember bringing up the Witsit. You did that. It caused a bit of chaos.
Dude, this is boring, dude. This is so boring, bro.
Okay, when you do things like tell people they're not allowed to call people out on being liars, and they object, and then you say, no, you said Witsit was a liar, and then you tell me off for talking about Witsit, and now I'm pointing that out. You don't like that, and you're saying it's boring. Well, okay, that's your behaviour, not mine. I was talking about science with that Earth guy. Now, fair enough, you stepped in and modded, and I thank you for that. Good job. Because he was getting unreasonable just constantly chanting through me while I was answering his questions about science and the scientific method, the hijacking thereof. That was what I was talking about. But it became objectionable to that Earth is Life guy. Now, thank you. I assume you're one of the moderators here. You're doing a good job. Great.
Okay, let's move on. Enough meta.
I'd kind of finished. I've got nothing else to do once I establish, with time, so long as I'm always welcome. So long as I'm always welcome, with time, I'll get to a point where I'm content that some fundy zealot comes through your way, with all due respect, this is your turf, and you just hand him his own arse when it comes to this method of science, empirically validating cause and effect in nature. That takes time. I can go through it again.
I don't know. Well, when we got in here, we heard a lot of boo-ha-ha about supposedly being their sun being in Antarctica for 24 hours. I'm curious.
Are you trying to talk?
Yeah, it's chocolate.
You guys
Very
hear me?
chocolate. You're really quiet, chocolate.
Yeah, try and do something with your mic. We're on a live stream here. We're trying to keep the audio clean. So if you could fix your mic, that'd be great.
Mic check, mic check.
Just a bit quiet, chocolate. Anyway, we'll give up on chocolate for a minute because obviously it's a bit tenuous at the moment and unclear audio is not going to help us. Yeah,
where's QE at? Why don't you bring QE in here?
Hey,
No, I got a question.
in my line, I guess.
All right. So last time we talked, I asked about which map you could use to draw circles of equal altitude. You mentioned the Mercator. Do you have an example of that or any proof of concept, anything that could substantiate that claim?
What claim did I make?
That you could draw circles of equal altitude on a Mercator to do celestial navigation.
Yeah, you can. Can you show me any globe that's ever capable of drawing a circle of equal altitude on? Oh, you can't, can you? You can't draw circles of equal altitude.
Forest.
Oh, my bad. It was rhetorical. Bacon. Yeah, circles that are two-dimensional, so they require a flat map to draw them on, don't they? Whatever the map is, it doesn't matter. They'll all have to be flat, won't they, for a circle of equal altitude?
I'm not sure why you're talking about a globe. I'm trying to understand how you do that on flat Earth.
You don't do it on a globe.
Could use the Mercator.
I've just explained that to you, Bacon. I just explained it 20 seconds ago. I just explained it to you 20 seconds ago. Didn't you listen?
Can you wait until I'm done?
Did you not listen? I explained it 20 seconds ago, Bacon. Maybe if you keep talking. Do you want
I
to
was
repeat
still
it?
talking.
He was still speaking, Nathan. Give him the courtesy that you demand from everybody else.
Okay. So when I asked which map you said the Mercator, I'm asking for you to substantiate that claim. I'm not talking about a globe. I don't care about a globe. And when I mentioned I've tried the Mercator and it didn't work, all you responded was that I wasn't lost in the ocean, so that didn't count.
Well, were you lost in the ocean?
Obviously not.
So you weren't trying to navigate to find your way with celestial navigation. Personally, I'll be honest, right, which is what you're trying to corner with me. I'll give you. No, I'm not qualified to do this. My sister did qualify in celestial navigation because she's had several boats, which I have been out with her. But ultimately, if we'd have been in danger, I'd have relied on her and my brother-in-law to make sure we didn't die when they plotted out a position with their sextant and their almanac. I won't take the credit that my sister and brother-in-law would ultimately need giving because they were the ones that paid the money, bought the boat, paid for the courses, got qualified, and were allowed to go out on the sea on a boat, not me. So when you say, could I do it? No, I mean, I'd have to go and get in touch with someone who could. That would be my sister. And say, how'd you do this? This guy's challenged me on it with a Mercator, and I don't really know how to answer him because really I'm not qualified to work with a flat map that it absolutely must be to draw a flat two-dimensional circle on it so that we don't die at sea, with a flat system, with flat reference frames, flat distances, and circles that are two-dimensional that absolutely, without question, will only work on a flat surface when plotting our position on the flat world we dwell atop, when measuring it flat with elevation angles. As for it working on a spherical surface, no two-dimensional circle will ever work on a three-dimensional spherical surface. That can't work. Earth must be flat for this to functionally work on any map, and they're all flat. So, okay, asking me the nitty-gritty details, you can have it. I'd have to ask my sister who is qualified in celestial navigation. I personally am not. Sorry. Did you say you were qualified? Sorry, just one follow-up question. Are you qualified in celestial navigation, just out of interest, Bacon?
Oh, I've tried myself a couple of times, and I think
not my question. Not my question. That wasn't my question. Are you qualified? Like my sister had to take a test. Make sure that she's qualified to not let people die if they're out with her on a boat. Same with my brother-in-law. Do you have that qualification?
I haven't taken any official tests. I've done it though, but
oh right.
I mean that's a deflection from my question.
Is it really?
Because I haven't answered it.
I answered your question about whether or not I could do it on a Mercator projection, and I said I'd have to consult my sister who's qualified in this, and then went on to explain how it would only work. Is it just me, or did the mods tell me not to interrupt him? Yeah, I'll thank you to not use your mute button on me, Bacon. It's the second attempt. I'd have to qualify this by answering it from someone else's lips, which I can't do. So I'll ask my sister how it works on a Mercator projection, or any flat map for a flat circle of equal elevation that would necessitate Earth be flat to perform this function with flat angles. So I've put quite a few things back to you about how Earth must be measured flat there, Bacon. Let's see if you respond to any of those things, or if the mods will help me on my way with the things that you'll undoubtedly ignore. Like the flat elevation angles and the flat 2D circles and the absolute unequivocal inability to do this on a three-dimensional spherical surface with 2D circles that will go on flat maps. Let's see if you address any of that, Bacon. I'm done.
Okay. I didn't ask you how you do that on the Mercator. I asked you to substantiate your claim that this can be done on the Mercator. Any source, anything where you got this claim from. If you evidently don't know how to do it because you just admitted
was that rhetorical, or did you want an answer?
Let me just get the end of it.
Did you want an answer? It's the same question. Was it rhetorical?
I wasn't. Well, you went for quite a long time. Let me.
So you asked me a question. It doesn't matter how long I went. You asked a question. Do you want an answer to it, or do you want to keep answering the same question that I should be answering, but it's rhetorical? You asked me something. No, I'd have to qualify that with my sister. I've never done it. I'm not personally qualified, and neither are you. But what I do know is it's done on flat maps that require Earth to be measured flat to plot these flat circles on flat maps. And it's there interrupting me. I don't know about in terms of what, qualifying celestial navigation. No, there's people who actually get paid to test and qualify people like my sister to do it. It's called celestial navigation. There's tests. So what, do I need to substantiate it? There's a whole industry testing people on it. What are you babbling about? You wouldn't know. You've never been on a boat. You wouldn't know. You'd never been on a boat.
The Mercator can be used for circles of equal altitude. If you can't, then
yeah,
just
I heard
say
you.
no.
I said I'd ask my sister, who's qualified in using flat Earth and flat angles and flat circles, to not die at sea if she took someone out on a boat. Now, that's not me. I'll ask her for you, Bacon. But then he went on to say, could you substantiate this process at all? And I've said, what, this thing that my sister and brother-in-law were qualified in had to pay for tests to do to not die at sea when plotting circles of equal elevation on flat maps that definitely must work on a flat Earth. Oh, yeah, I don't need to substantiate. That's called celestial navigation. I answered you.
He doesn't want to hear about your sister, Nathan.
Since you clearly haven't done it yourself,
neither of you.
So I'm interested
neither of you.
in how well.
Neither of you. Neither of you. You're not qualified.
I'm in
neither of you.
Sentence. Bro, you gotta let me finish.
Neither of you. I'm not going to have this held against me like it's some charge that's going to hold because you've done it and I haven't. No, I've been out on a boat. I've been out on a boat. Have you been out on a boat, Bacon? Bacon, have you been out on boats?
Somewhere.
He's telling me.
So far, what I'm getting is my sister knows it. So, is the way that information got to you like your sister said so? Is that how you got that information?
That's called celestial navigation. Third time.
Yeah, where in celestial navigation says you can draw circles on the Mercator?
Sorry, not on a Mercator. I'd have to double check that. So are we going around in circles, moderators, or is it just me answering his question about whether or not it can be done on a Mercator? I'll ask my sister. I'm not qualified. And then he's asked a third time the same thing to try and have me over a barrel on it. And I've said, no, whether or not it's substantially done on a flat Earth with flat Earth elevation angles is definitely a thing. I don't need to substantiate that. It's called celestial navigation. Fourth time. Are we done?
Oh, I
Bacon,
think we're
are we done?
I clearly.
Have you been out on a boat?
Response
Have you been out on a boat?
No substantiation, at least so far.
Have you been out on a boat?
The Mercator can be used. So if you can find
fifth time
any flat Earth map where we can actually draw
they're all
circles,
flat. They're all flat.
I'll love to hear that.
Yeah, they're all flat maps. All of them are flat. I already covered that. It's like he's ignoring me. All maps are flat. They have to be for circles, two-dimensional, of equal elevation to be plotted on any map ever. The only surface you can plot two-dimensional circles on is a two-dimensional flat map. So this little straw man fails for a fifth time. Yeah, in terms of this process being qualified, not whether or not I work on a Mercator, I'll get back to you on it. Do you want to try that for a sixth time? Because this process definitely exists and requires Earth be flat to measure elevation angles and plot circles on flat maps. Earth is measured flat for this process. Now, that's not getting a response. It's just round and round, what, for sixth time, presumably, in response, Bacon? Are we going to do this all day, moderators? I've answered him.
Yeah, I'm not challenging maps being flat. I'm not even challenging Earth being flat. However, there's a claim on the table by you guys that you can use flat maps to draw circles of equal altitude to get your location accurately. That hasn't been substantiated.
It's called celestial navigation. Sixth time's a charm.
You're just repeating that. You're not substantiating that claim.
Sorry, substantiating what celestial navigation is? What, minusing from 90 timesing by 60 so that you can get a distance to a GP that you can draw a circle with based on its radius. That's what you'll open up your compass and draw on the map. That's what it does. That's what it is. It sounds like you don't know what celestial navigation is, Bacon.
Well, the feeling is mutual because if you've ever seen anybody doing a fix, you're not gonna see them drawing circles to see where the circles intersect. That's just how you guys describe it, but never shown this to work.
But did you not say?
In any way.
I thought I heard you say you tried it.
I said I tried drawing circles on the Mercator to check if that worked, and the answer was no.
Oh, I see. So when you say drawing circles on maps, you understand how that process would fail on the Mercator projection, then?
Correct.
All right. So not that it would fail, and not that it's not celestial navigation. You understand it is the process of celestial navigation, then?
I understand that's how you guys claim it works.
It seems like he's dodging my question.
Example of that.
Well, not what I'm claiming. It's what it is. It's called celestial navigation.
You can just claim that it is what it is. That's still your claim, and you haven't substantiated with any example.
What, like an area of equal elevation derived from a star?
Sure. Assume
no
the flutter
worries.
as much as you
Latitude,
want.
no
Just
worries. I'll
show
do
me
it right
that
now.
that works.
No worries, I'll do that right now. Latitude. Done. A circle of elevation equal in elevation made by measuring an angle to a star called Polaris. Done. There you go. Substantiated. You going to shut up now? Yo, shithead.
Wait, what?
That's it. Done.
I'm talking about showing an example. Of what you're
Latitude.
describing.
Do we do this 6 times, moderators? Latitude. That's circles of equal elevation measured with an elevation angle to Polaris. Done. There you go, substantiated. We definitely use flat circles of equal elevation for mapping systems. Latitude. Are we done? Are we done?
Obviously not.
Are we done?
No.
No! Yeah, we are. Yeah, we're measuring Earth flat with elevation angles to the star called Polaris to derive latitude. Circles of equal elevation, specifically. 2-dimensional, flat, areas of equal elevation. That's same elevation at all points on a circle measured with an angle to Polaris. You wanted it substantiated? There you go. There's a circle of equal elevation system. Latitude. We done? Did you want to go back to telling me it won't work on a Mercator? Feel free. 7th time's a charm, maybe.
No, that's done already. I just want to see
you did it 7 times.
Any map.
Yeah, you did it 7 times.
Yeah, you haven't shown any map where that works. You're just saying it.
So any map or just the Mercator? So you're saying, let me get it right, let's get a quote from you. Are you saying you cannot draw circles of equal elevation on any map? Is that your claim, Bacon?
That's not what I said.
Oh,
I said
it's not what you said. It's just what you need to strawman me with, having represented it like I'm going to now position onto you. Bacon seems to be saying you can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map. Wow, that's idiotic, Bacon. How stupid are you?
I said.
It's not what you said. It's just what you're misrepresenting me with. It's just what you need to misrepresent. Yeah, I know how stupid your tricks can be. And when I position what you need to be my claim back on you, the only one saying it, you don't like it. So your stupid assertion isn't that you can't draw circles of elevation. Oh, is it just me, or is he now using his mute button? Now he's losing moderators. You're going to tell him off? I got told off. What about him?
Okay.
You're straw manning what he's saying.
Right, why is it he's getting supported instead of getting told off? I got told off. Why isn't he? Why isn't he getting told off?
Yeah, I'll just respond to what you said.
I'm winning. Yeah, circles of equal elevation like latitude, Bacon.
Can I
yeah, Bacon, you've lost. Yeah, I'll just keep yammering through you. No one told you off. So I'll just do to you what you did to me without getting told off, it seems, in this neutral server where I'm the only one who gets told off for interruption. No, Bacon, I won. Areas of equal elevation are definitely justifiable. And you're misrepresenting and straw manning me like I've said you can't do them on any map. Like you've said? You definitely said that. I'll just lie about what you've said. Quote, Bacon. You can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map, end quote, Bacon. Complete nonsense from an idiot. You idiot, Bacon. Why would you say such stupid things? You stupid idiot.
Yeah, congratulations for the textbook version of a strawman.
No, you're trying to strawman me with it, Dumbo.
Okay,
and I've repositioned it onto yourself.
Beginning to respond to you.
Sorry, is it just me, or is it your straw man that's now been foisted upon you? You are saying you can't draw circles of equal elevation on any map then, Bacon? It seems like that's what you're saying.
I didn't say that. I was asking you if there's any map you can provide where I can do that.
Oh, which one did you draw circles on? Was it just the Mercator? Were you so stupid that you only used a map that it couldn't be done on? Well, you're really stupid. Is it just me, or am I getting interrupted? I assume this will get me told off.
Yeah,
Maybe I'll get told off for this interruption in the middle of my sentence.
Nathan,
Maybe this person will tell me off.
Yeah, it's a moderator here. Why don't we settle down with all the insults? All right, we're adults here. We don't need to do that. Go ahead.
Thanks, Dicelo. Thanks. Yeah, so circles of equal elevation would be justified with latitude. And given that this man said he's done it on the wrong map, I don't know why he'd do it on the wrong map. To get it wrong, that seems stupid. Well, which map would you suggest you could do it on to get it right, then?
Oh, I tried a couple. None of the flat maps I drew circle them worked. So I tried a rectangular projection.
I see. Can I ask you something then? So are you saying you couldn't do circles of equal elevation on any map? That seems really stupid.
Yeah, on any flat map, none of those worked. That's true.
None of the ones they're all flat. No, they have to be flat. They can only be flat. You're drawing 2D circles.
Just wanted to point out that it wasn't a straw man now that he is taking that position. that he said Nathan Strowman, and with he is now taking that position. So
yes,
pipe down everybody else.
He's alluding to the idea that he's tried several maps and they've all failed. It seems like you don't know how to pick out a good map. You wouldn't last very long at sea, but then again, you're not qualified in this subject. I mean, neither am I. I'll admit that openly. You seem to be pretending like you're qualified and you keep picking the wrong maps to do it on. Let me know when you get the right map that you can draw circles of equal elevation on there, Bacon.
That's why I'm asking for your guys' help.
Oh, that's my sister. No worries. She's qualified in this, unlike you. I heard the first 7 times, Bacon. Yeah, I heard the first 7 times. And I answered you 7 times about it, didn't I, Bacon? Bacon. I answered you 7 times. The straw man fails, and unless you rumpus me and nobody takes charge of you, it seems like when I interrupt, I get told off. When Bacon does it, it's just tolerated. So Bacon's allowed. Maybe Die Slow will pipe up. He's just chanting through me, Bacon. Bacon, 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 Bacon,
Obviously, I didn't
Bacon,
all of them.
Bacon.
I just
Bacon.
some, I think like
Bacon.
5 or 6.
Bacon,
maybe.
you're just yammering.
Those worked, so maybe you guys got the right one. That's why I'm asking you.
No, we didn't get any of that because I was in the middle of my sentence when you started yammering. Bacon, I've already taken your crap apart. You're the one failing to do this repeatedly. Now I've repositioned the straw man you tried to foist upon me with your ineptitude and failures to pick a map that you can draw circles on and actually locate your position with. That's your inability. Now I said, all right, I'll go and ask someone who's qualified in it, given that celestial navigation is something that you absolutely require to be qualified in to take a boat out. My sister did it. And my brother-in-law, I've already explained this 7 times to you, but somehow you think you completely unqualified. You're not telling me you're going to go and find out which is the right map, even though you're the one who wants to do it wrong repeatedly, apparently. You keep getting it wrong, dum-dum. Maybe you should look into how to do this. But it's called celestial navigation. You keep picking the wrong maps. Is your ineptitude and failure to pick a map you can draw circles on and find your position with a chance to straw man me with how none of them work? Because that's really stupid. But every time I put that to you, you say, you're not saying that. You just want me to be saying it, right, Bacon?
Can I say something?
Yeah, I'm done. I've annihilated this position. I've also given Earth measurements as flat with latitude, unequivocally measuring Earth flat with elevation angles. I've proven Earth's measured flat. I don't know what Bacon's achieved. Go ahead, Eli.
Is a nautical chart a map?
You're right, it's a chart. Yes, I would call it a map, but I'd probably get told off.
Anyone.
Yeah, you could say so.
He's asking, he's asking if a nautical chart's a map.
Equal altitude on flat maps, then, don't you?
Say that again. You're coming out a bit low.
So you do then put circles of equal altitude on flat maps, then, don't you?
I don't draw circles, no. I draw lines of position. Those are straight.
A nautical chart is a specialized map that helps mariners navigate safely. They do put circles of equal altitude on them, don't they?
Can you show me?
What new thing are we coming up with now?
He's saying, can you show me? Do you deny that? He's putting it to you. Do you say no, Bacon? They don't use circles of equal elevation on nautical charts.
Well, they do lines of positions. These are a part of the circle of equal altitude. They are not drawn as circles, though. They are drawn as straight lines.
So we do use circles of equal altitude, otherwise known as circles of equal elevation then. So Earth's flat. Welcome to Flat Earth. I'll just make my conclusion. I'll just make my. Is it just my rumpusing? Maybe I'll never ever get to make an unimpeded statement because Bacon's going to be tolerated by this moderation team. Die Slow. You're going to do something about this, or is it only me that gets told off? No. So we definitely measure Earth flat. Then no, it's a second attempt to make this conclusion about Earth being flat. Maybe this zealot is going to be tolerated by this server. Die Slow. I'll appeal to you a second time. Second time appealing to Die Slow. You modded me. Can you mod him?
Yeah, Bacon, let's allow Nathan to finish his points so that we can all have a coherent conversation.
Thank
Nathan,
you. Thank you, Die Slow. Yes, I'll put this to Bacon specifically without him chanting through me like a globe-believing zealot when we confirm, as he just has, that circles of equal elevation are what will be measured. That would unequivocally prove without doubt and for sure that Earth is measured flat. Earth is flat. That's why we use these processes to not die at sea when qualified to measure areas of equal elevation. That this slippery globe believer was trying to strawman me with suggestions that they don't work on maps. Yet here he is saying, oh, well, yeah, part of the circle of equal elevation gives you a line of position. Yeah, circle of equal elevation proves Earth is flat. Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. For a circle of equal elevation. Right, Eli? Feel free to take your victory dance.
That was kind of a red herring, wasn't it? Talking about as part of a circle. Here again, I Googled again. I know I'm being a Google warrior, but it says right here, circles of equal altitude, also called circles of position, are used on a nautical chart to help navigators determine their location by observing the altitude of a celestial body like a star or the sun at a given time. Key points about circles of equal altitude: function by plotting the circle of equal altitude based on their observation. Navigators can narrow down their possible location on the map. So maybe there are maps that maybe you really didn't do this, Bacon, because it seems like very easy to do on a flat map.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? Because if you look at the process, if you look at someone actually doing it, you're not going to see them drawing circles. What they actually do is that they pick a straight line to represent a section of the circle of equal altitude, which is called a line of position. And they do those 3 straight lines and see where they intersect. None of those are circles. So if your suggestion is drawing circles on a map to figure out where they intersect, nobody's actually doing that. That's how it's described, because vaguely that's actually a circle of equal altitude, but that you're not drawing circles. Those are just approximations with straight lines.
Very interesting.
Like
so, okay,
that
that's
what
very
you're
interesting.
saying,
Thank you. Thanks, Dicelo, for moderating it so we can draw the conclusion now. So Earth's flat. That's how it's measured.
Okay. That doesn't answer none of my questions.
Your question about whether or not it works on a Mercator projection, I said I'd get back to you now 8 times. But in terms of how Earth's being measured, Earth's flat. That's how it is measured. That's how it's being used. No ifs, no buts, no babies. I'm still talking. You understand, we understand, and now the audience understands. I know there was quite a few attempts by you to obfuscate these facts, but Earth is measured flat.
Can I respond already? Are you still going?
Yeah, can I ask a quick question? Bacon, you said it was a curved line, but not a complete circle. Are you talking about an arc radiant?
No, it's a straight line. They draw the parts of the circles as straight lines.
So where does the intersection between circles come from that you're claiming Nathan's misappropriated?
Yeah, they see where the straight lines intersect. Those straight lines are representing a small chunk of the circle of equal altitude. They are too large to be plotted on a map. And if you actually try to use a map that represents the whole Earth,
so let me clear this up. You're saying a straight line in lieu of a circle. That's what you're saying, right?
Oh, in lieu? What does that mean?
So you said that they're using a straight line representing a circle and part of a circle. So that would be an arc radiant, which you already said wasn't the case. So I'm really confused now.
If that's what you mean by an arc radiant, a straight line that represents a section of the circle, then sure.
How do you have a straight line represent a section of a circle?
That's what navigators do. It's an approximation. The larger the circle, and the smaller the chunk of it, the closer it approximates a straight line. So they don't bother trying to make the accurate curve. They just make a straight line because that works just as well.
And you think that's sufficient? I'm gonna give the mic back to Nathan. I see the contention.
It's ultimately us measuring Earth flat. Now, you can justify this after the fact all you like, but that's just a fact. That's a flat Earth measurement for a 2D area of equal elevation. That's areas all the same height, all the same position on a 2D surface, measured flat with angles, elevation angles. Earth's measured flat for the angles. It's then plotted. Maps are flat. They're produced with these same angles. They are flat when measuring them, producing them, plotting the ground on the maps themselves. Earth's flat. That's how it's measured.
That's not the point of contention. The question is if you can actually use a map and draw circles on it to figure out where you are. The answer is, so far, no.
No, that's absolutely the case. We went through it with the charts.
Okay, let me see an example.
Yeah, charts.
But Bacon, you are using lines. Are you using lines, Bacon?
I use lines, yeah.
I gave you a practical example with. Hold on. I gave him an example with latitude. Gave him an example with latitude specifically, didn't I?
An example of latitude?
Yes, that's a circle of equal elevation measured off a flat Earth with an elevation angle specifically. Something that anybody can practically understand and observe in terms of the area of equal elevation. That's a latitude line measured on a flat Earth. I mean, this is fun and all, but we're all in agreement Earth's measured flat. That is how it is dealt with. In terms of how you acquire any of these measurements, it's elevation angles that we're actually measuring with respect to the surface. Aren't we, Bacon? That was cited as well. Eli cited it specifically when referencing the circles of elevation used on charts.
I want a citation of what you think would imply that you can actually draw circles on a map to get your location. I want to see an example of that.
Eli gave it you earlier.
He didn't give me an example. He gave me a citation what he thinks means you're drawing circles on a map. You're not. When you draw a circle of equal altitude on a map, you don't actually draw a circle. You pick a chunk of it, you approximate it as a straight line, you calculate its distance and direction using two formulas, one for the computed altitude, the other for the computed azimuth. Then you plot the straight lines, not circles.
Okay. So azimuth and altitude.
I don't think you guys know what you're talking about.
Okay, so azimuth and altitude. Is it just me or is he still talking? I'm answering him. Azimuth and altitude require Earth be a flat plane.
That's not in contention. We're not talking about what
so we're not debating. So,
I'm trying to get a substantiation of your guys' claims.
If it's not in contention, then we all concede Earth is measured flat then.
Sure, I can give you that.
Okay, welcome to Flat Earth then. Well, welcome to Flat Earth. Earth's measured flat.
Can I now get a substantiation of how you guys...
Everything we've detailed here today requires Earth be measured flat, and my opponent concedes that Earth is measured flat. He's now going to concede it for presumably a cheap ad-hom based on my lack of knowledge of celestial navigation in terms of actually plotting it down at sea when your life's at risk, something I've never done. I've explained 9 times, or is it 8? I lose count, it's so many, that one of my family, immediate family, is qualified and has got the documentation and boat to prove it. So they could save our lives with areas of equal elevation. I'm still answering. It's the 9th repetition. And Strawman, that he wants a cheap attack on me personally. But he's ultimately conceded that he understands implicitly Earth is measured flat. That's all we're here for. I mean, my actual overriding purpose in being here is to educate everybody in this server about the empirical process utilised to establish cause and effect when people claim to make an antipodal assumption travelling south, a flat Earth direction, to observe the sun for 24 hours. All of those descriptions also require a flat plane of reference to describe, travel to, and then hijack the terminology of science, which is why I'm here today. I mean, it's fun debating with Bacon and making him repeatedly concede Earth is measured flat, because Earth is flat. That's how it's measured. But he wants to get a cheap attack on me for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh, because you guys claim it works in a particular way that I never seen anybody doing, and I actually seen a lot of people doing, and I tried myself. I got working results, not by saying what you guys say it's the way it's done.
You got image posted in the chat. You got image posted in the chat. CPM digital map seems to be a tool that mariners use. I see circles.
Me too.
Can I give some detail on this?
We're coming quite low.
Fine. If it'll be tolerated, Brian, go ahead.
Yeah, I just listened to literally a minute or so of what was going on. No, there's the thing of the disconnect. These days they have particular plotting sheets that they use, and they don't draw out a whole circle, right? The straight line distance between the observer and the GP, that is still the radius of a circle of the size that radius would create. But what they do is they create a tangent to that circle, right? That cuts across the point of the GP, the point where from the GP to the person, where the person is, it cuts across that point, and they do that 2 more times. So they have 3 straight lines crossing. But they are at the point where the 3 circles would intersect.
I see. So what you're saying
That's
is,
how it works.
If I just pause this on screen now, it's slightly off screen, Brian. Just confirm I'm understanding what you're telling me. you see on the screen where it says sun? You're measuring your altitude angle to the sun. And at the point where this circle around your position where it says azimuth and altitude, yeah, where that intersects on the circle, you're saying they draw a straight line tangent to this point on the circle of equal elevation that they're drawing on the map. Oh, no, says Bacon. They're not drawing the circle. They're only drawing a tangent to this point that they've drawn out based on the radius they've calculated with the elevation angle measurement off a flat Earth. Then they do it twice more for other altitude angles with other stars. It's hard to explain when you're doing it with the sun, but if this was a star, they'd do it for two others, one ear and one ear, and that altitude angle would also get made into a circle. But they don't draw the circle, says Bacon. They only draw a tangent to it, because all three tangent points will cross at the GP of the location that you're trying to locate, which is where you are, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, where the sun is would be the center of the circle, and the edge of the circle, or the circumference, where the circumference is, would be meeting where the observer is. And the same would happen for two more celestial bodies. Well, obviously not with the sun out, they can't. But if it was the night time or whatever.
Gotcha. I've got a better diagram up now.
They just have three straight lines crossing, which are just three tangents to those three circles, and that's the same. It's the exact same point as where the three circles would intersect. That's how.
Somebody's done their homework.
Yeah, well, I just want to clear up what's being. I didn't understand where it was being slippery, so I've bought for time, and Brian's now saved me. Thank you, Brian.
No, I just don't think that Bacon understood that. Did you understand that, Bacon?
Tangent points here for the audience.
That's what I was describing so far. I said like at least 3 times.
Yeah, fair enough.
I think it has to come out of your mouth.
So it was a red herring then, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Because
it's areas of equal elevation
No.
drawn with circles, but instead of the circles, if you're actually doing this, which I didn't know, it's making me look silly because I didn't know this. Instead of drawing out the circle for my audience, this is the circle. What's the point that you want? Well, you're trying to find out where you are, utilising the angle measurement to the GP of the star and the circle around it. Well, what Bacon's saying is you don't draw this circle. All you draw is a straight line just here at this red dot underneath Z in the diagram on screen now. You draw one little tangent. Then you do the same thing for a different star, and it's going to have an intersection point potentially here and here on this circle, one of which is your point. But you're just drawing tangents rather than the actual circle itself.
You can also. I don't know if Bacon was aware of that they can just use that they're just using 3 tangents. But I also heard Bacon describe 3 curved lines. But that'd be the same. It'd just be 3 small arcs of those 3 circles. That's all it would be.
Right.
So you don't need to draw a full circle on some of these plotting charts.
Yeah, they can just do this bit.
3 intersecting arcs.
Yeah,
or
these
3
bits. Just
tangents.
Yeah. On screen for my audience, you can just draw this little tiny bit of the circle, and then when you measure a different star over here, you just draw this little bit of the circle. That's all the arc bit you're drawing. Yeah, he's being slippery though.
Well, I don't know if he actually.
No, I'm just giving you the facts.
Yeah, I don't know if he was being slippery from the bit I heard. Maybe he was just saying they don't do these big circles. They're not drawing them out. It's like they're not. But they are still pre-assumed because you're using the circle. You're just not drawing the part you don't need.
Right, you're just drawing a little bit of the circle of equal elevation. You don't have to draw out the whole circle. But the principle of an area of equal elevation, otherwise known as a circle of equal altitude, is still a circle of equal altitude in principle, regardless if you only draw a little section of it, because you know roughly where you are. You don't need to draw the bit over Africa miles and miles and miles away, right? Eli, can you go on mute?
Okay, can I get a concession now that there is no actual example of people drawing circles on a flat map to figure out where they are?
Yeah.
Because that's what you guys have been doing.
I'll give you that. No problem. If you want me to eat humble pie, I'll give it you bacon. You know better. He wants humble pie out of me. You can have it.
Just because they're not physically drawing a circle doesn't mean it's not implied, as you
That's right, Dicelo. That's fine. But Dicelo, it's okay. I can fall on this sword. Everyone stop talking. Stop talking. No, that's fine, Bacon. You want me to fall on that sword and eat humble pie metaphorically? No problem. Now, I didn't know that. The area of equal elevation, otherwise known as circle of equal altitude, doesn't have to be drawn out entirely on the map, or you could draw a little tangent point to it. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Earth's still flat, though. We have to measure it flat in order to achieve it, and there's the interruption when it comes to the devastating flat Earth fact. That is a flat Earth measurement, an area of equal elevation, regardless of if we're only drawing out a tiny little section to intersect this overall area that we don't have to draw out on a map. I mean, we wouldn't want massive circles on a nice, pristine map, after all. Make that little mark as tiny as possible, I guess, so long as you don't die on a flat map, on a flat Earth that you measured with a flat Earth elevation angle. Good that we got to the bottom of that. I am ignorant. Thank you for informing me.
What's his point, though?
I didn't know that.
Now that we got to that was the first point. The first point was to address the claim that has been made by like 3 years that you draw circles on a map to figure out where the intersect, and that's where you are. Nobody actually does that.
You do. You do.
The second.
You do. You do. They're called circles of equal elevation. You don't have to draw all of them. You wouldn't want to ruin your map. But ultimately, they are definitely circles of equal elevation, and they're definitely used on maps, and they're definitely stopping people from dying. Just because some people don't draw the whole circle doesn't mean that's not what they are. On screen now that we know what we're all talking about, here are 3 intersecting circles of equal elevation, depicted so we understand the principle used with a flat Earth that is celestial navigation as described by me. I didn't know where this slippery little sod was going by saying you don't have to draw out all of this circle actually thrice. There's 3 circles of equal elevation in this diagram on screen now, taken from a celestial navigation manual. Now I know exactly what this guy's talking about. Yeah? Yeah, you don't have to draw the whole circle on the map like this diagram showing you how to do it with a circle of equal elevation shows. You don't have to do it like this with the full circle, Bacon. Now I understand what you're saying. You've never seen someone draw it out like they'd educate you on how it works. No, you don't have to draw the full circle on the map, Bacon. Just because you've never seen someone do it doesn't mean it isn't how it's done, though. This is how it's done. It's on screen in this diagrammatical example taken from a celestial navigation manual, Bacon. Because that is how it's done. In spite of your lie that isn't how it's done, in conclusion, yeah, it is. It's on screen now. This came from a celestial navigation manual. Unless you want to double down that this isn't how it's done, as is being educated in a manual about celestial navigation showing 3 circles of equal elevation as drawn and shown on screen for my live 135 people watching. Is this not how it's done, Bacon? Like in this manual for celestial navigation with these 3 circles of equal elevation? Is that not how it's done when you just draw a little bit of them?
I don't see your screen.
Oh, well, just take my word for it, son. It's absolutely how Earth is measured flat with circles of equal elevation, areas of equal elevation, circles of equal altitude, as shown on my diagrammatical example taken from a manual, showing people how this is done with a flat Earth measurement prerequisite. Earth's measured flat with it. Here's the 3 stars scrolling down my screen, star 1, star 2 and star 3, that you'd measure flat Earth elevation angles to, so you could draw those circles of equal elevation that the Celestial Manual, in terms of how it's done, will show you. The one that you seem to be denying. You seem to be saying we don't use circles of equal elevation, or it couldn't be done on maps. Or are you now going to tell me that you don't like it when I'm positioning it like you're stupid and don't know how circles of equal elevation that absolutely are used work? Do you think they can't be used? That seems stupid, Bacon. Are we back to this, where you don't understand what I'm showing on my YouTube live stream? Figure 3. By measuring the angles to 3 known stars, the observer knows his location. So we're measuring these 3 angles, and we're drawing the circles, like depicted. The ones that Bacon seems to be alluding to the idea that we don't need, because we only draw out a little bit of them on a map. Yeah, we understood your point that took an eternity to get to, because you wanted to, what, make me look silly? Thank you, Brian. It's good that I've got people around me that aren't just trying to make me look silly when they bring up these things. We definitely do use circles of equal elevation, though, Bacon. Earth's measured flat with them. They're on screen now. This is taken from a manual on celestial navigation.
Yeah, I've actually done quite a couple of fixes using the method that we were describing so far, which is drawing straight lines to approximate chunks of the circles of equal altitude. That's fine. I don't have an issue with that. What I had an issue with is the way you guys were describing before, which you seem to concede now isn't the actual way it's done.
Oh, yes,
that's fine.
I really feel warm and fuzzy for you educating me. I ate my humble pie already, didn't I? Did you not enjoy the humble pie you watched me eat? Yeah, thank you for it, don't I? But we do measure Earth flat, don't we, Bacon?
Oh, sure. Let's go with it.
Not sure. You just give it me in a yes. Yes, Nathan, Earth's measured flat for this process to work.
I thought a sure was better than a yes, but let's go with yes then.
Yes, what?
Yes, Earth is measured flat. You can clip that and play in your server how many times you want.
I absolutely, without question, will be doing that, Bacon. Thank you, Bacon. To quote Bacon, Earth is measured flat. That's right. That's what you get from the Flat Earth debate panel when you deal with people like Bacon, a globe believer. He'll tell you in no uncertain terms how Earth is measured flat, end quote, Bacon, globe believer. With that, I'll say if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow.
When you start talking, it's your mic. You got headphones on?
No, that's the funny part. That's why I'm wondering, because I'm not even using headphones right now.
You sound good now.
I had to cut you off because as soon as there's a bit of ambiguity, there's going to be a fundy in their server that takes advantage of that chocolate. Bit of chaos. Oh, right, I'll jump in here. So I just thought, sod that, I'm just going to take control from you. Sorry, chocolate. I had to do that.
Nah, it's all good. I was actually trying to bring it back to a point myself because, you know, we heard all the brouhaha about Antarctica for 24 hours. I just wanted to know how that proved that we're on a ball, because we didn't get to that. It was more, you said it or you didn't say it. Like, okay, what if it's there? Okay, great. What does that prove again?
Oh yeah, right at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Remind me again who made the statement that if the Earth was flat, we would see 24-hour sun.
Nobody really made that. We said that was the way that they'd have to phrase it to turn it into a globe proof, but it would be affirming the consequent. As a result, nobody really made that statement at all.
Well,
so
the
when you now
Globers have.
Again.
They said if the sun were over a flat plane, we would see it constantly. It would never disappear, never go below the horizon.
Yeah, that's what they say we should say. When that happens, I like to turn it into their claim. So you're saying we should see this? That sounds stupid. Why would you say that? No. I'm saying you say it. Oh, I haven't said that. You just said it. Like I just did with that guy. It's like, are you saying you can't draw areas of equal elevation on any map? No. I'm not saying that. Oh, right. You just want me to sound stupid. I see.
Nathan, I tried to, before the end of the live show, I tried to get this information in. Well, they don't draw full circles because they're using plotting charts. So they're just drawing what they need to draw on the chart. You know, these are like a sheet of paper that they use with a map. Then, or if they're using a sectional map, because they're not always using the map of the world, if you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
So that's why they're not drawing big circles. But that doesn't mean that you could have a situation where, as well, where you have, these, like the navies have, we have a lit up table. Like you can project a map onto the underneath of a table, and you can draw with a marker or something on top of the table and just wipe it away again. That kind of situation. Some boats have them as well. So It's just times have moved on. But that doesn't mean they never drew circles on maps.
Exactly. Is the process still being utilized?
I couldn't get to say that.
No, you did say that. You did say that.
Yeah, but I didn't get But Bacon said that we're wrong to claim that they draw circles on maps. That never happened. It's like, no, it did happen at times in the past.
But you were conceding to that, and I dropped an image in the chat. I don't know if that flies, but Brian can look at it. I don't know why
you did really well, but ultimately, without demeaning what you did, Eli, because you were exceptional backing me up, right? Because I haven't got a clue. When you don't know, you don't know. I don't know where he's going and what chink in my armor is exploiting. Brian knew exactly what he was trying to exploit and came in and just went, this is what he's detailing. It's not wrong. It's just ambiguous at this point. Brian gave it absolute clarity on the live stream. I could have kissed you, Brian, because I didn't know what the hell he was babbling about.
But okay, wait. Let me give you an example. yesterday, I was talking about the Selenilian eclipse. Someone said, no, I'm talking about lunar eclipses. I'm like, yeah, Selenilian is known as a partial lunar eclipse. It's still a lunar eclipse. So the whole point is they're drawing a partial circle or, an arc of a circle. However, you could also draw out the full circle too. It's not that they don't do that.
Yeah, but yes and no, because Brian's saying when they give you a chart, I knew this. This is another thing. Now you're saying it all makes sense, Brian, because I looked at this 10 years ago with Martin Leitker, who was all into maps. And yeah, they divvy out little tiny bits of chart. So if you're going to draw an area of equal elevation, there's a good chance that it might be covering an absolutely vast swathe of land. And but for the fact that you haven't necessarily rolled out a bleeding Mercator projection, which is where Bacon's angled that, you're not going to get the full circle on whatever little section of chart. Even if you did try and draw out whatever section of the circle, you might get 1/100th of the circle onto that little section of chart. But that's all you get. You're not doing it on a full world map, but there's a good chance that that circle might be absolutely vast if it's close to the horizon when you measured it. Right, Brian?
Yeah, I mean, if they use, as I was saying, and as you agree, like they use section of the charts, but they use, they're also using what's known as plotting sheets, which are just sheets of paper with a certain graph on them, and they're using those to draw those three straight lines on. They're using them with the maps to draw those, so they don't draw on any. So it's just things that, like, it's just basically things have moved on. These days they just use GPS. Do you know what I mean? It's like things have changed. But the point is that if you're going to do celestial navigation these days, you're just going to use a plotting sheet, which is just a sheet of paper that has a particular layout on it, and they're all the same, and you use them to plot your position. So you'll draw your three straight lines, your three tangents, all your three arcs works the same on that. You won't need. Kent Mann went through some of this before, but it was probably a little bit past where people understood or where people learned to, if you know what I mean. So the man to talk to about this, he'll explain it would be Kent Mann. He could give you exactly what they do there. But
yeah,
that's all they do. They're just using, three tangents intersecting, which would be the same thing as the point of three circles or three arcs. They're doing exactly the same thing. They're just making it easier on themselves. They're not having to draw big circles. But if you look at a compass, these compasses they use, that's what they're using to draw the three arcs. That's what they will often use to draw the three arcs, the compass. You know what I mean? There was navigation, there was mariners' compasses they use. That's what they'll start. That's what they'll use. So if they went around the full circle, they would be drawing a circle. It depends on, as I said, they're not always using world maps, and it's just practical. That's all it is. It's just a practical thing.
Let me get this.
So when he said they're never, just 1 second. When he said so you're wrong. They don't ever draw circles. They never draw three circles. No, at one time they would have, but they don't do it these days. That's right. Sorry, Neil. Go on.
No, what did he actually come in there? Hold on. What did he actually come in there to do? To try and character assassinate Nathan? It's always the same.
Well, I just want to say they're coping. They're saying that the circle of equal altitude is not the perimeter is on the same altitude, but the middle, all the points within that circle are not on that same elevation. That's actually what they're trying to cope with now.
Yeah, and they're like, "Good job."
Not a circle of equal elevation.
It's gotta be. What are they talking about?
How can you have a circle with a curved radii? How can you have three circles with three curved radii? You can't. This is an afterthought. They then try and place those circles somehow on a globe map. Right. That's what they try to do. It's like this is when they start using the haversine and stuff like that. But the initial measurement is a straight horizontal measurement because it's a radius line for a circle. You can't use the curved radius line. We went through this with them a couple of years ago.
The weird thing is they hate me so much that they're willing to concede the flat Earth measurement so long as they can get me to look stupid. They'd rather take that as the win. They've gone beyond the point of no return in terms of what they're actually trying to achieve. Initially, it's make Nathan look stupid to discredit what he's talking about. That's flat Earth. Now it's just, oh, I'll concede the flat Earth bit. No worries. So long as I get to make Nathan look stupid. Like, what have you become?
Well, it's the flat earthers over there that are doing that too.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, all
It's
of
not
them
just
was like
there,
good
it's
job.
in-
All of them said good job, Bacon. The flat earthers.
It's in many flat earth cliques that they do that now, and it's I don't understand it. Like, the argument is sound, but the person that came up with the argument's not someone I like, therefore the argument's stupid. That's
We gotta go back in there,
I
Nathan.
don't
What are
get
you
it.
doing? Come on, part two. You gotta go back in there. Come on. Sounds riveting.
Yeah, we will next time.
Oh God.
Let them have their little non-victory. Let them have let's all hate Nathan now, and we'll just go back in there again next week
Without
until
that
they
motivation,
understand it.
right? That's the reason no to part 2 in earnest, right? My motivation is back to basics, and I did that. I achieved it twice. I was quite delighted. Now, the fact that after the fact we get to slam some Fundy around and get him to concede Earth's measured flat right at the end of my live show, I mean, I'll take that all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. But doesn't mean we need to go back in. Next time we'll go back in, it'll be like, right, back to basics. This is what science is. This is how it's hijacked. As long as we keep repeating that message.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's been my experience also. Going back to basics is therapeutic. It's refreshing again. It's nice to bring the old arguments back in, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Really, they're stewing in all this. I'm not in any way, shape or form stressed out or having to cope at all. I'm enjoying the flow of this. It's a nice ride. It's like I'm riding the wave on a surfing board. Beautiful.
Great show, yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Fundamentals are extremely important.
I plugged your show, QE, and said, tune into QE's show. And although he wasn't there, Geo wasn't there to say gird your loins, but I did say it whilst in the server. I don't know what more can do.
Somebody came in and said that. Where's QE? I want QE here.
Just for people asking there's no need to go back in there. No matter what they do, they can't create those lines of position without straight radii, which would be hundreds and thousands of miles in length. So it's not possible for them to do that. What they're doing is they're going on to the next step where they start mathematically adding in, converting with the Haver sign and different things like that to try and place a point on a globe. That's all a mathematical afterthought. It's not part of the measurement.
Guys in Discord, Bacon used to come there all the time, correct? Yeah, Neil, Bacon used to come here all the time. And you handing him his ass all the time, right? Yeah, we did. So that's why he's over there.
Occasionally Bacon comes in here still.
They're trying to figure out what a map is. He was here the other day. Bacon was here the other day anyway. But I spent 3 hours just now. 3 hours in Gem Panda's server, and I asked him a basic question. I represent 3,000 children with their parents. We're here now, metaphorically speaking, and they want to know the best methodology that they can show their children as to measuring the curvature of the Earth. The best method. Remember, we're talking 8-year-olds here, right? And they couldn't do it. And they didn't manage to do that. 3 hours. Failure completely. 3 hours.
Well, that's weird because they just had some Globers step out with all types of money and funding and resources to go prove that we live on the ball somehow. You'd think that maybe that's what they do. Go actually measure the curvature they actually believe in. Instead, they want to go somewhere and see the sun, which happens to be in the sky, which doesn't prove that we live on a ball. So that's unfortunate. Maybe next time. Maybe the next rich Glober will step up and then they'll prove curvature. Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah, and then
who's the next big flyer?
Somebody mentioned Nathan Oakley receiving a ticket or receiving an offer for a ticket. And I said, no, he did not receive an offer. They said they offered QE as well. I said, not that I know of. They never got offered a ticket. No, I don't think they were even invited.
And Brian,
so that's going to be the argument. Like we offered, like somewhere there's some email that chocolate was invited to Antarctica. Like this is where they're going.
Where's my invitation?
Idiots. Every flat earther ever was offered to go, and we didn't go. Therefore, it's a ball.
I was invited. I just didn't have a babysitter.
No, you don't understand. As long as Nick turns, everything's a win.
Shout out to Nick. Well, I'm not sure who that is, but yeah.
You don't know who Nick is?
I know who Nick is.
We
His
all
surname
know
is not.
who Nick is.
Yeah, his surname is Nothing Burger.
Yeah, Nick Nothingburger, former leader of the Flat Earth.
Nothingburger?
I like that.
Nick Nothingburger. I like that.
Now you got to tell
he's that
Chocolate the
Austrian
story.
guy. Hey, may I ask, so a Mercator projection and the WSG, that's considered the same thing, right? Because I know one's a chart, but I don't see the difference.
All right, 10th man's not here. Save those questions when 10th man's here, given that he spent about 4 years studying it and bought about $5,000 worth of books on the subject.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
I sent that man a message. I was hoping he would come, but, he's still dealing with a lot of stuff. But anyway, come on, you got to tell Chocolate who Nick is. Nathan, he don't know who Nick is.
Okay, so Duffy went on a show with somebody. I can't remember who. But on a show, Duffy was asked, what's his Answers in Genesis? The younger host on Answers in Genesis is like, well, what do the guys who went with you who are flat earthers believe now? And he's like, oh, well, maybe they'll turn, maybe they won't. I'll keep you updated. He's like, well, what about the people who have been watching this? Have their beliefs changed? He's like, Duffy says, one guy did get in touch with me and explicitly said that now he's changing back from Flurf to Glurf. His name was Nick. His name was Nick. His name was Nick.
In Flat Earth, all of us have a name. His name was Nick.
Like his name was Robert Paulson.
Exactly.
Just about to say that.
So there's been one dude, according to the TFE host himself, that's converted. And Nick will not be forgotten.
Yeah, I know what you mean now, because I remember that conversation. I was here for it, but I didn't know the guy's name was Nick. That's who we were talking about. So.
His name was Nick.
Very disrespectful. His name was Nick.
I heard Simon also left.
No, not Simon. No, say it isn't so.
And Simon?
And Simon. No way. That's double the amount of people who've departed. Double. It's doubled.
We need to use that.
Simon say the Earth is a globe?
Yeah, apparently. Simon says Earth's a globe, and ultimately Simon saying Earth's a globe has doubled the amount of impacts that TFE has had.
Don't you just ever play that game, Simon Says?
I mean, I'm surprised we haven't been thrown that as like globe proof. Like Simon Says Earth is globe, so.
Did you know that Die Hard with a Vengeance, aka Die Hard 3, was a completely unrelated plot for nothing related to John McClane, just called Simon Says? Just a random film. And they were like, we could turn this into a Die Hard movie. Let's change the main character to John McClane and nothing else. Die Hard with a Vengeance is just a movie called Simon Says.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that so? I can kind of see.
Yes, it's true, but don't put down Die Hard 3.
With a vengeance!
With a vengeance. Seems like I have competition in the movie buff business.
Everybody loves Die Hard.
Okay, was it a Christmas movie?
The first two.
And so was The Godfather.
I'm going to get coffee and stuff. Hopefully you can all be trusted.
Oh, we can be trusted. We got to start using that. In Flat Earth, everyone has a name. And his name was Nick.
Yeah, but didn't we
Come back, Nick.
Didn't we just do that joke like 25 seconds ago?
No, I'm saying we got to do that all the time. Well, it's not going to be used because I don't see too many people going, well, I just said Simon went back. Okay. His name was Simon. I thought you were going to get a coffee.
Oh, well. I've got to turn the machine on. It's got to warm up first. It does kind of bug me. That
every time an argument comes around, I'm sorry, I was going to say, every time somebody argues, we got another Nick on our hands.
Whenever we come across a defector? Oh, not another Nick.
Yeah.
I want to know what was bugging you, Nathan.
The fact that he would more than happily give up on his entire paradigm of a globe Earth, as long as he gets to make me look stupid. I don't get that. Bugs me.
That is strange.
Something's severely wrong. He's like, no, I just want you to be what? You expect me to believe that you endeavour to increase our game and make sure that our standards of disseminating this information are right on point, to the point where nuance of charts not having a full capability of a circle to be drawn on them needs to be used against me to suggest that I'm putting out garbage information about Mercator projection using circles of equal elevation. Like, this is so nuanced solely to make me look stupid. But you're positioning it like, oh no, I'm just trying to better for you guys. I objected to you getting this subtle detail slightly wrong as far as I'm concerned. You keep saying circles of equal elevation drawn on maps. I'm like, yeah. Where's this going? But for Brian coming in, I'd have never figured it out. But potentially he could have found that chink and widened it as much as he thought necessary, right? And that's the only thing he's achieving. He's not trying to widen that chink in my armour to do anything other than to kill me. Not so that the subject of Flat Earth dies. Not so that Earth's proven to be flat for another day for pain relief. Just because he hates me. That's it, isn't it?
That's exactly it.
Good. Ultimately, I don't care. As long as Earth's being proven to be flat with your own words. To the point where you can put that into a clip played over and over again. Yeah, I will.
That always gets me, how they know what you're doing and they willingly say it. It's got to be something where they can't lie. I have to tell the truth. So, okay, yes, Earth is measured flat. Put that in a clip. It boggles my mind.
Well, those sorts of things do have an impact on the people around that are like arguing with these people and not getting to admit that Earth's flat and no, Earth's definitely a ball when they're discussing things with him. But regardless of how much they may despise me also, he's telling me Earth's flat by his own concession when he's talking to me now, isn't he? That gets people's attention, whether in the moment they like it or not. Amazing what you can achieve when you've got a different objective. So going in wanting to just get back to basics about science and the scientific method has led to them and one of their own, Bacon, telling us, yeah, okay, fine, Earth's measured flat for this. Yeah.
Yeah, but he admitted it multiple times, though. Like, yeah, Nathan, stop talking about the Earth measured flat. I totally agree with that. But this one part, do you qualify for it? Well, no, my sister and my brother-in-law actually qualify for it. You want to talk to them about the Earth definitely being measured flat. Yeah, Nathan, the Earth actually is measured flat. I understand. Sure, it's better than yes. But yeah, you're kind of missing this part of explaining how the Earth is measured flat. Can you explain that to me?
It's nuts, isn't it? Yeah, because that really subtle bit after you've won, really, really, really won, and everybody knows around you how well you've won and how Earth's flat. Just explain this subtle detail that might make you look a bit stupid afterwards.
Well, I got a question. How does ship sailing times prove around Earth?
Well, they don't. But I mean, if you were using a transverse Mercator projection to plot your charted positions that you'd use circles of equal elevation with, there you go. One extra nuance in a bloody long string of sentence anyway. Thanks, Bacon. Then you'd find that the distortions that have resulted from globe projection meant that plotting your distance or trajectory on that particular globe projection might actually lead people to think it's not a globe because it'd be out, as has been shown multiple times. But it doesn't prove you're on a sphere. You can just use globe projections to plot those journeys on, proving nothing.
Around Earth? Don't explain that. Because that what do you call it? Message that I read off yesterday that someone sent to Jaron in his comments was really bothering me because I was reading over it. And it did sound like I was just shouting stuff out. And if somebody was new and they were listening to it, they'd be like, what the heck is this guy doing? I thought he knew Earth was flat. So from time to time, I'm going to grab one of them and ask. I'll give you one more. Polar star not visible in the south. How does that prove around Earth?
I don't mean to be this way, but every time you say that, can you qualify when you say round? I don't know why it irks me.
But that's how it's written. I gotta repeat it how the comment was.
And I get that. I know it's not you. I get it. Just because you qualify. You know what I mean? I love you.
Yeah, they're supposed to say it proves a spherical Earth, right? That's what they're supposed to say.
Nathan around?
Getting coffee.
Getting coffee.
Oh, somebody was calling you out, QE. They wanted you.
I was sleeping.
It was funny. Where's QE? I want QE.
Or dumb bastards.
Hugging on Superman's cape. Uh-oh.
That sounds like a kickboxer. It sounds like kickboxer. I want Tom Paul. Bring me Tom Paul.
Want to take a trip back memory lane?
Yes.
Going to be pretty good. Nathan's got to come back. He's got to play it.
Do we get a hint?
It's from November 2017.
Wow. Now you're going back, what, 7 years, 8 years?
Yep. Well, when he gets back. Nathan, get that coffee and get back here. That's when Nathan was Nathan.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
That statement is Nathan, not Nathan.
Well, he's the 2025 Nathan now.
Or he's been Nathan. Has that finally come full circle? I've been Nathan.
Well, but the current Nathan is not as good as the Nathan from a few years ago.
There you go. Brian's got it. This is the 2025 version of Nathan. We're going to see the 2017 version of Nathan.
I know. I was there for all the versions.
Think about the Impala. Think about the Impala. Is it better now than it was years ago?
No way. Well, they did come up with one a few years ago. I think it was in early 2000s. That was a beast. The cops were using that car.
Your memory's poor. That was 1990s.
It was the end of the 90s, right? I wasn't sure if it was the end of the 90s or 2000s. I'm trying to figure out who I was working with at the time. So it had to be right at the end of the 90s and early 2000s.
Yeah, they were still running them to the 2000s, but 1996 was the last model year, even though they were building them right to the very end of 1996 because demand was so high for them at that time. But they ran them all the way to December 1996, which is unusual. So technically, those were 1997 cars.
I know they were fast.
They discontinued it?
Wait, what? You guys talk about Crown Vics?
Caprice.
Oh, okay.
B body rear wheel drive Caprice.
Gotcha.
Is it Caprice?
I'm confused about the Mercator. I'm confused about the WSG84 in the Mercator, but from what I can tell, the Mercator is most commonly used in conjunction with the. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. Sorry.
WGS84. Get it right.
Yeah, I keep googling it wrong too, and it keeps correcting me.
Yoo-hoo, Nathan.
If it took me that long to get coffee, I would stop drinking coffee.
He's growing and grinding the beans. Give him a break.
Have you not seen his coffee machine? It looks like he's trying to go back to the future. It's ridiculous.
I've seen it and I've heard
it. He made a video one time where he's making coffee. I was just looking at this thing like, wait a minute. Is this thing going to go back in time? What's going on? I thought he was making coffee. That's ridiculous.
Well, he's got that steamer where you could steam the milk, like when you're making cappuccino. But there's some machines that do it. You just plop the pot in there, hit the button, boom.
Bada bing, bada boom.
He's probably
I only use a French press.
Oh my God, that takes time. And a mouthful of grinds.
Only the first cup.
Coffee's overrated.
Yeah. Don't you see those commercials with the DeLonghi machines where they're fighting for the coffee? Like, come on.
Well, listen, this guy used to own a pizzeria, and he would take all his money from the pizzeria, and he couldn't wait to close so he could go to the cafe and use the Joker poker machines. And me and my friend would just go with him, and he would just buy us espressos all night. That's real coffee. And the first time I got a taste of it was when I was about 20 years old. Oh, never went back. Espresso is the best.
What an amazing story.
Well, it only lasted for a couple of months, and then he had to close his shop because he used all his money gambling. But I was introduced to espresso.
So who'd you get to talk to on the Land of Misfit Toys?
Bacon dominated it.
Bacon?
With his stupid, they don't actually draw circles on a map. while doing celestial navigation. That was a nonsense.
That was
bacon, egg, and cheese.
That was sort of worthless then. Bacon's here. What about one of the misfit toys? What's the problem?
I don't think they were
Earth
awake.
is life. No, Earth is life. He had that conversation, but they kept referencing each other.
All right. So the guy came in and said, "You said, Nathan, that there was a 24-hour sun. Now what have you got to say?"
That there wasn't.
Hey.
Oh, there wasn't. Right. Sorry. Let me get the misquote right.
Master B, just relax, Neil. In Master B, would you like to take a trip down memory lane to November 2017?
Flat Earth debate.
Yeah. It's time stamped. Just let her play. Let her budge.
So we're not getting a non-physical lid model?
No, we got a long silence, then Brenda disappeared. Doesn't seem like anybody joined to snipe her. She just vanished of her own accord when I asked her to show me what she had asserted, which was that she had a model. Oh well, guess we're not going to get to see the model today. Maybe we'll see it tomorrow. Hey, No Globe, how you doing?
Yeah, how's it going, guys?
A couple of my guests, I think, have been sniped when I wasn't looking, so I'll just try and get them back.
Just as they left, Nathan.
Hello.
Are we still live?
Yeah, we're still live. Did you have a power cut?
Let me just let everybody know what happened. Brenda came in and sat down and took a position, and then sniped me for no apparent reason. So I removed her back.
Who did? Brenda. Oh, it was just you and Brenda having a tete-a-tete, was it?
Well, she took out Arwin as well.
Oh, fair enough. Can you add Arwin? Hello, Rumpus. How you doing? Good to have you.
She took out Nomi as well.
Hello.
So just to let Brenda know, on that account, Ellen, you'll not be coming back in again.
Well, not if you're around.
She won't be coming back in. You only get sniped.
Anthony keeps on sniping me, so every time I come in, he snipes me. So
anyway,
I'll be doing it again in a few minutes. No doubt.
Sorry, just to fill you in, Rumpus. So we have this situation where there is an assertion that we have a non-physical container. Now, Brenda asserted that we could see this on your model. Is that something perhaps you could show us?
Well, our model includes a force called gravity, and that causes the atmosphere to cling to the Earth and causes a pressure gradient. And it's a force that's measurable, and you can measure it by just getting on some scales.
Sure.
Can you?
Oh, you do tonight? You're getting on scales
Sorry.
through the force.
Maybe I wasn't clear in my language. It was a problem that Brenda had as well, so I understand entirely. So what I'm looking for is a visual demonstration of your model and its artificial lid, please. Can you show that to me? There's a very distinct difference of description and a visual representation. So I'd like you to show it to me, please, Rumpus. Can you do that for me?
I can show you a force in action that's causing it, yes.
Sorry, I'll say it one more time for the hard of hearing, who will shortly become the retarded. So, Rumpus, can you show me the model? Who's causing that noise? I think, is that you, Alan?
Nope. So it's you, according to this.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
Just
right,
mute
the
if you're
model
not.
we got includes a force called gravity, and
Can
that
you show
causes
it
things
to me, please? Can you show it? I'll just pop your screen on, Rumpus, so you understand that it's a visual thing we're talking about. I am putting you on screen so you can show it to us. Off you go.
I'll go and find a pencil dropping somewhere.
No. You're obviously retarded, as it's the now 4th time I've said it to you, so you have this cognition error, right? So, try to open your ears, you dumbass, and understand what I'm asking for. Your model and its demonstration of an artificial lid. I would like you to show that to me, please. Show.
get on some scales, and that shows.
No. I will say it again. Your model and its artificial lid, dumbass, deaf, rumpus.
I never said there was a lid.
Try and repeat back to me so I understand that you've heard me, because I understand you're deaf and retarded. Understand by repeating back to me what I'm asking for. I'm asking you specifically to show your model and its artificial lid. Please repeat back to me what I'm asking for.
A container is a physical thing that exerts.
No, I'm asking you to repeat back so I can ascertain, because I understand now after many times of dealing with you that you are in fact retarded. Therefore, before we go forward, Rumpus, and you continue to interrupt, before we go forward, I need to establish with the retarded person on the panel that they have heard and understood. And the way I'm going to establish that is you repeating back to me the following. I require A. So off you go. Repeat back to me.
The atmosphere is contained by a force, and you can demonstrate that force by dropping a pencil.
I would like you to show me your model and that artificial lid, please.
So you want me to show a model of gravity?
No, your model. Let's try it one bit at a time. Do you understand what the word show means, Rumpus?
I can't show you a force unless you...
You can't show, so you do get it. You've used it contextually, so I'll move on. You do understand what show means. Do you understand what your model, that would be your model of what you fantasize Earth looks like? That would be your model. Do you understand what your model is, Rumpus?
An idiot, isn't he? He really is an idiot.
No, we have a break in cognition. We have a retard on the panel. Someone who has been held back cognitively. That would be you, Rumpus. So I'm very slowly going through it for you because you're hard of hearing and retarded. So we'll start again. We've already had an established use of the word show, so we understand you know what show means. Now we're on to the model. So repeat after me the words, Rumpus, so I understand what you know we are showing here.
Showing you, get on some scales, that shows you the force in action.
And not the force in action, you see. You're hard of hearing and retarded. I say the model, you say the force in action because you're retarded. So, repeat after me.
The model includes a force, Nathan.
Right, I absolutely expect it to include it, Rumpus, but I'd like you to show it me. And I will examine whether or not it includes it after you have shown it me, that being the model. So, can you now show it me?
So you want a model of gravity, do you?
I want you to show me the artificial lid that contains the gas pressure. I've said it nice and slowly. Can you repeat that bit back to me? Just because we all understand you're retarded and hear different things. So, do you understand what artificial lid means? Hi, Shroomy. Hey, Shroom.
There is no artificial lid. There is a gradient of density caused by gravity.
Right, I'm sure that will be contained in your model that you're about to show us, won't it?
Our model includes a force called gravity, and that keeps all the air molecules attached
Show it.
to the Earth.
Show it then. Let's see it.
There is no artificial lid, but there is a
Show
force.
it, please. We'll establish what it's got and what it hasn't got when we see it, okay?
Right. Our model of the Earth, which is a spherical entity with...
This sounds like words.
Well, okay, I'll draw it for you. Okay, I'll draw
No. Not draw. What are you talking about? I don't want it made from now. You said you'd got a model. Why would you need to draw it? Just show me the one you've got.
Well, I'll draw a sphere. You want me to draw a sphere?
No. Show me the one you've got. You asserted that you had got a model. Now I want you to show it.
It's very evident, Ethan, you're deflecting from this. You're obviously frightened of reality. You're frightened of my explanations.
No, we're not talking about reality here. Far from. We are humouring you morons and your moronic model. This is not reality we're talking about. We're humouring you and saying, let's have a damn good look at this model you claim to have. No drawing required. Past tense. We would like to see the model you have already. So can you pop it on screen? I'll pop you up presenting, Rumpus. Let's see you put it up so we can see it.
I'll show you some pictures of some scales.
The model and its artificial lid.
Right. When you ask me for the model, are you asking me for a representation of the...
The model, Rumpus. Do you need me to bring up the definition of the word model? We are talking about your fantasy model of a sphere Earth. We are talking about your idol, this spherical thing you think Earth is. That's what your model is. So, in this instance, your model has a specific task, that is to show an artificial lid. Now, I don't care how you describe it or what it shows. Let's have a little look at it, shall we?
Okay, so do you want the model of the forces or do you want the model of the physical nature of the Earth? Because
the full model in its entirety, please. The full model.
Well, that includes lots of things, including the forces.
No, all of it. I'd like to see the full working model, please. The full model.
Well, there's lots of aspects to it. There's lots of physics.
No. I don't want to see any aspects. I want to see all aspects. All of them. Specifically, and not limited to, the lid. The artificial lid that is asserted that Earth has. So in this instance, the model's got a particular task, and that's what the model's going to be showing us today, Rumpus, that lid.
Okay, you've asked me for everything. You want every aspect of the Earth model. Okay.
Well, that's what a model is. Is that not what a model is, Rumpus?
Okay, well, there's lots of aspects. You can model various aspects.
No, that's what a model would do. It would model all aspects, would it not?
Not a single model. No, you'd have to show lots of different parts of it.
No, just a single model.
The multifaceted model. So if you want just me to show you the physical nature of the Earth, I can do that. If you want me to show you about the
you wouldn't be doing that with a model. That's a contradiction in terms. You're not showing physical aspects of the world with a model. You're showing a model. Let's get that clear.
And everybody presents a model in a hypothesis. That's what
no. If you're dealing with a scientific hypothesis, you are dealing with aspects of the natural world, which is why we exclude models from science, Rumpus. Now, we are humouring you and having a little look at your model. Your screen is still presented, but you haven't shown us your model yet. So, can you show it, please?
Right, there are lots of aspects. Which bit do you want me to show you, Nathan?
We'll pop it up and we'll hope that it shows the aspect that contains the gas pressure.
Ah, right. So you're interested in the gas pressure. Right, okay. Okay, we'll do that then. Right.
Hey, Shroomy.
So, for instance, the velocity, there were some questions earlier about the velocity of the atmosphere, and it does have a gradient. It doesn't.
I don't need any explanations. I need you to pop it on screen.
You want me to show you a picture of the velocity of the atmosphere? That's what you want.
No. Why are you redefining my words, you retard?
You can't show...
Do I need to... Why is it that when I asked you to repeat it back to me, I just gave up? I should have pressed forward, knowing just how retarded you really are. So, I'll go through it again. As much as it pains me to deal with people who have retarded cognition and have a difficulty in hearing things, I don't mind. For you, Rumpus, I'll go through it again. While you're on screen blathering over the top of me and people can see that, right? While you're doing that, I'll ask again. We'll see if you can open your ears. I would like you to show your model and its demonstration of gas pressure being contained.
Okay, so you're asking me for how gas pressure is contained. Okay.
No. Oh, see, I'm glad I'm getting you to repeat it back. We can see just how really stupid and slow you are, because I say one thing and you repeat something different back. No, we're stumbling on the model bit, Rumpus. We can get there together. I would like you to show, we know that bit. We're on step 1 of this sentence. Step 2, your model. Now repeat after me. Show your model. Try it. Try it with me. We can get there together, Rumpus. Just try and shut your mouth for a second. We can all see you blathering while I'm still talking. Yeah, that's why you're up on screen. Yeah? As soon as you shut your mouth, I'll unmute you.
When you want a picture of empty space, basically. That's what you seem to want. You want a picture of empty space at the...
No, let's try that again. I want you to show me your model of Earth and its demonstration of a non-lid lid.
You want a picture in space of the edge of the atmosphere?
No, let's try it again, because you are literally stupid. I would like you to show me your model. Do you need me to literally spell it out for you? You see, look, everyone who's watching now, see these lines coming off Rumpus's face? It's him continually talking, so no one in the Hangout can hear what I'm saying. He thinks that by doing this, I'll unmute him temporarily.
If you want me to present you with a photograph...
That's what he does. So he basically talks non-stop, so no one in the Hangout can hear what's being said. That's his little trick. He thinks he's smart, but in actuality, he is a retard, because he's been asked about 6 times to show his model, and there he goes again. That's why the lines are coming off him. As soon as I start to reiterate the thing he simply cannot do, which is actually show us his model. He can obfuscate. He can talk over me like he's doing right now. Not that I can't just stick him on mute very easily while he does it, but he can't show us his model. So I'll start asserting it. The globe Earth doesn't have a model. It doesn't exist. He can't show it because they don't have one. That's the bottom line here. That's why I'm asking him over and over again. And he keeps talking. Because no matter how many times I say it, he will never actually put one on screen because he doesn't have one. The globe hasn't got a model. It is that pathetic.
You can't sense the reality, Nathan. You can't sense the reality like you're trying to do here. You can't.
No, I'm censoring you. No. You're talking non-stop so the Hangout can't hear me.
You're frightened of the arguments.
You're talking non-stop.
Can I ask a question, please? You just find some easy person who can't.
Is that enough, Kiwi?
I suppose.
That's when Nathan was Nathan.
What are you talking about? It's 4 years ago.
The memories.
That was like during COVID.
See,
it's not that long ago.
This is the thing I hate about the like. I don't want to say hate, but like I kind of don't like about our current stance. Look how fun it was to ask them for their model. Watch them stumble and stammer. And, yeah, what do you mean? Which model? What do you mean? The gas model or the?
You want me to show you empty space? You want me to show you empty space? Is that what you want?
Show you empty space.
I could draw it for you.
Wow! Look how fun it was to ask them for their model. That was great.
I was hoping he was going to say, "Share your screen."
I thought you'd enjoy it.
Very good.
Everybody seemed to forget, though, because everybody still says model, 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 model. Your model, their model, my model, everybody's model.
What's interesting is the lack of progression that's happened in the past 8 years. That's what it saddens me because I remember that.
But there's only.
Nathan
Sorry,
has
Brian.
declined.
Sorry.
Nathan has declined.
There's only so far you can go with this. There's only so far you can go with this, and because it's not that difficult to understand, and I still think you can still ask them for their model and watch them squirm and squeal. So it's not over. You can still ask that question and enjoy it still. I don't see that as a thing. I did that today.
Flat Earthers now. The Flat Earthers now give them their model.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Flat Earthers now give them their model. Yeah, your model says, your model states, your model's this. Even some people on the panel.
I would never do such a thing. Never. Not me. Definitely not. I think it's Brian you're talking about, right? Brian, definitely Brian. Not me.
Which model?
I spent 3 hours. I spent 3 hours in Gem Panda's server asking them to explain to an 8-year-old the best methodology to measure your curvature. And I'm with their parents. 3,000 kids, if you can imagine, and their parents. They've got the red flag. If you fail, they're going to put it up. Right? Let's go. And 3 hours later, they still hadn't done it. 3 hours. Today.
Yeah, but what saddens me about the whole thing is we're still in the same position we were back then. We have to move forward. We're still dealing with the same people like Gem Panda or Fight the Flat Earth or whatever. There's no difference in who we're dealing with. Like, there's no difference in Rumpus or Fight the Flat Earth. It's the same level of opponent who's willing to just say anything. to just within a debate. It's like, so nothing has actually changed. And that's a problem. You know what I mean? It's a problem. What's going to, like in 10 years' time, in 2035, will we be still in the same position? When a flat earther is going to learn to stop engaging with people like Jim Panda, a Fight Flat Earth, and all these? We can't move past them if we keep engaging with them. You know, well, these days they are the big debates because they've been put in that position by flat earthers. So now we probably can't avoid them. You know what I mean? This is the sad situation. Where's the progress?
Oh, I think later on in that video, the body of science came up.
No, we got to do it. Just for
I think later on it did.
We got to hear body of science.
And then Nathan did. Then remember when they used to say it? Nathan would say, "Body of science." Dude, buddy.
Come on, Brian. Glass half empty. We're not going anywhere. You sound a bit like Jaron.
Well, he makes a bit of sense in some ways, even though his reasons for saying it are not the same point.
Freaking knew it.
I mean, certain things like if you're going to be doing the same, if you're going to do the same thing, you can't expect a different outcome.
I agree.
Brianism.
What Brian's saying is we're all banging our heads against the wall here. Why are you expecting a different outcome? You tell people Earth's flat, you show them it's measured flat, and they go, "Nah, I choose to believe otherwise." You're an idiot. Why are you expecting to go to next man, tell him it's flat, and have any different reaction? Yeah, you're right, Brian.
That's not what he said, Rumpus.
Yeah.
Don't call me Rumpus. That's an outrage.
We mustn't forget. We must not forget, though, that the heliocentric model is being taught every day.
What model? Show us that model.
Okay.
Pin him down. Crucify him.
He's right. Yo, Jim, did you miss this?
You want me to show you empty space?
The empty space.
Show us that model, Jin. Show us it. Show us it, Jin. You're claiming it for him. Scum. Outrageous.
Honestly,
I'm not claiming it for them.
We all heard you, Jin. We all heard you.
Do they not? Do they not teach them at school about the globe? Yes or no? Am I wrong here?
You said model.
Am I wrong?
On their model, you said, show it us.
Yeah, I don't have their model. Their model doesn't exist, as you well know. And I know that.
So what?
But
So what are you talking about, Jin? You're making no sense, sir. You're talking about stuff that don't exist.
You know what I'm talking. You know. Look, are we? Hang on. Are you going to harangue me now?
You know, this is how I feel when QE does this to me. I get this all day long.
Do you want me to tell you a new one, Nathan?
I said the same to QE. I woke up all dazed with little stars going around my head. It was weird.
I'm still trying to get a serious point out here. All right, don't be doing that. Thank you. I'm defending your honours when they try to dishonour you and other fucking servers. So don't be trying to dishonour me.
I'm not trying to dishonour you. I'm saying, okay, both chillax.
Right. No. Don't just say. Just let me get what I want to get out.
Fine.
Okay? Thank you. For fuck's sake. Now,
no swearing.
What I'm trying to say is repetition is key whenever you want to do something good. You're going to have to repeat it, okay? So if you're bored of repeating, don't be a flat earther. But you've got to repeat and stand by what you know is the truth. And that's what I've been doing for 10 years. I've been enjoying it. Okay? I don't think it's over yet. And in 10 years' time, there's going to be more flat earthers. That's the best I can fucking do. That's not good enough for some of you.
No swearing.
Fuck off from the server.
No swearing.
Thank you.
No swearing.
Why are you getting so upset, Jim?
Anyway, the reason we're haranguing you, or in irony, I'm haranguing you, Jin, is because I get harangued over using the word model. Because in effect, you're giving them something that, like was just shown when Rumpus was held to task by me 4 years ago, they haven't got a model to show us. But when you or I, when I'm
That's exactly what I've told them.
Yeah, and you're right. And so would I. But inadvertently, you and I both give them their model that they don't have when we use the terminology that you just happened to use a minute ago.
I don't give them. No, I don't. I don't give them anything. I've never given them the model. Okay, they box me in the corner. They box me in the corner. You know what I say to them? I'm glad I'm in the corner. Now I can see my fucking target.
No, stop swearing.
Because there's no one.
Hold on, Jin.
Okay?
Hold on, Jin.
I don't give them no fucking
Chill.
I never do.
Stop swearing. Family show. Chill. Right. Because I'm obviously antagonising you. Right. I'll hopefully get QE to phrase it to you like he typically phrases it to me when I'm getting it in the neck and feel like you're feeling now. QE, can you explain what I mean to Jin?
After he shows us that heliocentric model, yes.
Look, they're teaching that thing at school, aren't they not? They're teaching that thing at school. I'll call it a thing. Some of you get triggered with the word model, don't you? They're teaching that thing that doesn't exist at school.
Is that a force model?
That's what I'm going to say from now on. From now on, I'm going to say they're teaching that thing that never existed at school. There you go.
Gas model?
No, Jim. Jim, the whole thing is that what they show you at school is a globe. The globe is not the model of everything that they claim in its entirety. Like when they tell us to show them a working model of the entire flat Earth. They don't present that either. The globe is not that.
There's a new twist. Now we have working model. What's that?
It's a single mom model that's like she's got a job, she holds down like the laundrette and looks after the kids. It's a working model.
Oh, that's the empty space model. Nathan, you should have definitely said, yes, Rumpus, please show me the empty space model. You should have definitely asked for that.
Can I just jump on something that Jen said? Jen said you have to keep repeating, and yes, I agree with that, Jen. You have to keep repeating the same things because a truth is a truth. You can say it's slightly different from time to time, but it has to be the same thing. Because if it's true, it's true, yeah, and that you have to repeat the truth. Yes, you must, because the world is full of lies and falsehoods and etc. etc. But it depends on who you're saying it to. Is there any point in telling Gem Panda? Let's just say because you go into that so far. Is there any point in telling Gem Panda that gravity's not a force, even one more time?
It's the people who are listening in the YouTube live stream. That might be one new person, two new people. That's why I always say, ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't give two toss about Gem Panda. I go in there, take some blows, as long as I'm delivering the truth to those who are listening in the YouTube live stream. That's my main target, not the scumbags in the server. Come on, man. Think beyond that. Okay? I'll go there just for one person. And I'll catch that person. I've done my job. Okay? Thank you.
Yeah, but the problem is that people like Gem Panda, they've only gotten to the position they're in because we've kept entertaining them. You know, the McTowns and all this, they've only gotten to the position they're in.
No, not different people. Gem, we don't talk to Gem. We don't go in his server.
Arthur, can you mute?
We don't.
Arthur.
But the rest of Flat Earthers do.
Arthur.
We're in the absolute minority.
Brian. Thank you, Arthur. Sorry, Brian. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just saying we're in the absolute minority. Most Flat Earthers do entertain the McTowns, the Gem Pandas, the Fight the Flat Earths. And because they've done that, now those people are in positions where they are well known and they are still in a position they're in between the likes of us and the Brian Coxes of the world, more now than they ever were. Because now they've become well known. Well, they are.
Really?
You're not going to get to debate Brian Cox because you're going to be, if you want to debate him, who would be put in front of you is Fight the Flat Earth.
So I'll say it again.
To debate because you have the Fight the Flat Earth of the world in our way.
I wouldn't want to debate. There is no debate.
Come on. Trying to.
Listen, I'll say it like I've said it over the years. If you want to have a discussion, even in open discussion. Some of these professors have those kinds of forums. If you pay a professor, they will give your audience an audience. You can give them a Q&A. No one's really stopping us from doing that. Andrew Thomas Young, phone number is right up there on the internet.
We're going to pull Robert Pisano. We're going to pull Robert Pisano, call him up on Skype.
Yeah, are you going to proclaim who you are and what you're promoting? And see how far you get in.
Again, with money in hand, hey, listen, I want to have a conversation about this. This is who I am. Yes, I'm a part of an FED panel. If you care to know about all of that, blah, 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 whatever. Hey, we want to have an audience with you. This is what we want to discuss. Do you accept?
I'm interested in the blah, 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 blah. What's that?
Would you pay somebody? I ain't paying nobody.
For the blah, 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 blah. You bet.
You don't want to pay your way, then we're going to have to do it the slow way. What else do you want? That's just how it's always been.
I'm not going to pay. I understand what you're saying, but I'm not going to pay some university teacher just to get him on so he could speak to our audience and make him look like a fool.
Go to an open Q&A, but then it be murky, you trying to record it. So you could just get it for yourself, but then you can't do shit slimy like that. If you want to get it to your audience, you damn well should pay for their time and their exposure.
Why don't we just go in the comments and rewrite arguments like that?
Oh, sounds good. I'm going to do that right now.
Or we could just be here 10 years later, like Brian said.
Hold on, Eli. We are having an impact, Eli. You can't say we're not. It's not a little dark corner of the internet. I understand what you're saying.
The people that are responding to our arguments in straw man fashion, they are getting exposure. They are getting exposure. Okay? Because when I have to go fix, yes, whether it's in Discord or X or some random TikTok, I have to say, wait a minute, that's our argument. This is wrong. Because that's getting exposure, not our actual arguments or us. We're getting exposed. I'm not saying we're not getting exposure, but you guys, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do, Eli. I know what you're talking about. But as soon as you pay that person in the university for their time, now I understand paying them for their time, fair enough. If it was about something that wasn't this topic. But when it comes to this topic, you're not looking to learn from them. You're looking to challenge them. And that's a different thing.
But that's what I'm saying. When people have debates at university, the universities pay them. They don't do that shit they don't do that stuff for free. All of the debates, even if they were faux debates, whatever you want to call them, because they're debates about the nature of reality, and there's no such thing as a debate about reality. We've seen that all in 2008, 9, 10, all on YouTube. We used to suck that stuff up. QE is probably freaking putting pliers to his ears or whatever, listening to that stuff while we were like, oh yeah, I'm trying to get smarter. But all of that stuff we were watching, they didn't do that for free. They were getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that they were getting paid. I understand that the university would even pay them for whatever. But you should be paid too. See, the point is that if you're going to pay the person to debate you, but if you're going to pay, let's say, a university lecturer to debate you, but you know he's wrong and what he's wrong about, it's like you shouldn't, when it comes to this particular topic, in my opinion, right, you shouldn't have to pay a university lecturer to have a one-on-one conversation with you, recorded conversation or a one-on-one debate or whatever, simply because you're talking about reality. It's like, yeah, you're giving your time and you're challenging what that person is saying. You know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong about that. But in my opinion, if he's going to get paid or she's going to get paid, then we should get paid.
Yeah, because
I agree. They should invite us in. They should invite us in fact.
Yeah, when I start thinking about this stuff, this is when, my business brain switches on and I look at everything as exactly the same. Okay. And what I mean by that is, well, if we want exposure, when I was an artist and I wanted exposure, you have all of these small town artists that get together to do showcases and they have to sell tickets to get exposure. Everyone doing that same showcase didn't have to do that. Some people at some point have amassed so much of an audience, they'd be able to do that venue for free because the owners know that they're already bringing 20, 30, 40 people there that night. So we could get afforded some, what's the word? Some help only after we put ourselves on the map. We're still working at that.
Which map are you talking
Which
about?
map?
You know what I'm saying?
Eli.
We're out there fighting for our position still. And I'm not prideful to say, well, damn it, our arguments are the best. And so we should be afforded these things. I feel that way. I feel the same way you guys do. But I know that when my music was good and I felt like it was better than those around me, and there were people putting out garbage music, I was like, I'm better than that. I had to do things because I didn't have the resources they had, even though my music was better than theirs, to get out there for people to then go, okay, Eli, I'll give you this look. But it didn't happen before I put myself out there, put my own money out there.
Yeah, but that's subjective music. We're talking about reality here.
No, we're talking about reality has always been reality. But if you want to make it, if we're playing the game of popularity and we're talking about business products being sold or ideas being sold, then you got to use the same mechanism. It's not just, well, it's reality now. Now you got to produce it in the way that people will receive it and receive it faster than our enemies' cheap shit. That's all.
Yeah, but that's why you have Flat Earth Debate, you have QE Live, you have Ball Busters, and then we go to other areas, other venues, and you're working on one, right? I'm working on one myself.
I'm not saying we're not. We are. We just got work to do. That's all. We're not done. I don't want to be in. I recognize what we're doing, but I also recognize that I want more change than what we heard from Rumpus up until now. We could do a little better than that. We could be speaking to better people. I wholeheartedly agree with Brian.
The only issue we have. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, you're going to go after. Go on.
No, I'm just going to say real quick. We've changed the way people phrase words, say words, and put phrases together. Right? We're having an effect.
Yeah, but the problem is that no one's mentioning us. It's like we are that we're that girl that the guys love to go to and loves to be with, but they don't want to admit that they like being with her. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to admit that they like her. They won't admit they like her. Publicly, that's why people will take elements from this show. You'll hear it sounds sometimes like they're literally watching the show daily, and then they're using those terms themselves when they're online. But they won't. They're not saying you need to go and listen to these people over here. No one is doing that. Like that's a bit of an issue. But on top of that, what Eli's saying, I can't totally disagree with. I understand your position, Eli, and it would be stupid of me to say no, they'll be part of that. But what I would say is, if you look at what happened with Wakey, when he had to pretend, he had to basically go undercover and not state he was a flat earther to get to speak to that astrophysicist lady, I think she was, but she was some professor of some kind. And when she found out that he was a flat earther, she said, "If I knew that, I wouldn't have had to do it." That's the problem we have. They don't want anything to do with us. Like, I don't want to have to. What I'm saying is, I don't want to pretend that I'm not a flat earther and be dishonest to try to get to talk to these people, because it'll become obvious very fast I am, and I have to be dishonest, which I don't want to be. But they don't want to talk to me.
I remember that. And my belief is that that door is now open. She could say, oh, if I knew you were a flat earther, I wouldn't have taken this. Because number one, that guy was deceptive. And she felt very vulnerable at that time. That we can all recognize that that's what happened. Okay. Second of all, was this guy even a flat earther? I don't know. There were a lot of gerunds pissing people off, saying dumb. You know what? I was saying dumb stuff. Okay. But it is no longer that. It's no longer that time.
I think you're right, Eli. I think times have changed.
So for someone to go, oh, if I knew, first of all, I'm not going to deceive anyone. I want you to know I am a flat earther, and I want you to understand that I'm not Jaren. I'm not any of the things that you thought.
Oh, you're chocolate.
I'm an individual that when I leave, you're going to go, I hadn't thought of any of this stuff, because they're typically thinking about, what's underneath the earth, what about southern star rotation, blah, 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 blah. So when they hear someone like one of us stick to the main point, they're like, I never knew that. And then you give them citation and they go, okay, that's pretty much all normies do. So I don't see how that would be. As a matter of fact, I did that on Killer Priest, and he's like, I'm like, how far can I go with this? As long as people are willing to hear me out, even if they think I'm crazy at first, in the end, it's always a good back and forth. And it just gives us more credibility. For if a person says, I'm not going to talk to flat earthers, in 2025, it's like, why? What's crazy about what QE is saying?
Anyway, with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and Earth Awakenings and FED G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.